Send in your instant message to the game presented by Droid. Got questions or comments? Send them in. We'll read them on the air. Click on the Droid instant game banner at cbs4denver.com. Only 2 quarterbacks tonight. Wonder how they're going to play it, fellas.
All right, Vic, thanks. Tonight's first half kickoff brought to you by Wine, Women, and Football. Festive fun and all about Denver's favorite game. More info at cbs4denver.com. Prater's kick returned out to the 20-yard line. The Lions able to get it just to there, and the Broncos will start on defense after Tim Toon returned the kickoff for the Lions. Matthew Stafford is the Lions quarterback in his second year. Stafford last year coming out of Georgia, 6'3", 232 pounds, completed 53% of his passes, 13 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. It'll go that way when you're coming from behind a lot or trying to come from behind a lot. And Stafford and the Lions hoping to show vast improvement this season. From the 20-yard line out of the gun, and Stafford out of the backfield. Javid Best has the ball out to the 23-yard line. Upended on the play by Joe Mays, number 96. Joe starting at a linebacker spot for the Broncos. Broncos defensive starting lineup brought to you by your Colorado Chevy dealers. For the best lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs, see your Colorado Chevy dealer today. The front three of McBean, Williams, and Justin Bannon, a veteran front three. Hagan with Woodyard in for DJ Williams, Adele, and Robert Ayers. Secondary, Parrish Cox for Champ Bailey, Goodman, Ronaldo Hill in the secondary with Brian Dawkins. Lions run on second down, get up to the 26-yard line. Again, it's Javid Best getting the ball. Best, a rookie out of Cal. 30th overall pick in the recent draft, when of course the Lions had a couple of picks, and with pick number 2, picked that Sioux fellow out of Nebraska.
That wasn't a bad pick at all. We're going to see Sioux in a little bit. Right now, this Lions, they've got a lot of talent on this team because of the position that they've drafted, but haven't been able to translate that talent into wins.
No, a couple of years ago, they're 0-16. Schwartz comes to town, they're 2-14. They think he's a hero. So success in small increments for Detroit. This is 3rd and 3. Lots of time for Stafford. His pass is incomplete. Flag. No, the official throws his hat down. There's a flag on the play,
on the play.
Yep, contact as the ball was in the air, and we'll see what the officials saw.
So Goodman playing the cornerback position over on that other side. He's an aggressive veteran corner. The Broncos are pointing in the other direction as if the call went against the Lions. But there's 2 penalties. The referee first threw his flag down.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Illegal formation. Offense number 76 lined up in the backfield. There was also pass interference. Defense number 21. The penalties offset. Down.
So we'll do it all over again as we look at Jim Schwartz, the left tackle, had lined up illegally. Josh McDaniels a little distressed, I'm sure, that Goodman guilty of PI, as the Broncos had a chance to get the defense off the field. And that's what they want to see. They want to see 3 and outs. They want to see the defense off the field. And now another opportunity here on 3rd down and 4 at the 26-yard line. Just underway in Vesco Field in Denver. Stafford over the middle, and he's got his man, and they've got a first down as the Lions able to connect. And again, we didn't see much of a Bronco pass rush on the play. The ball caught by Nate Burleson, the veteran, former Seahawk. Nate Burleson, one of the good veterans in this league for years, in his 7th year, and Burleson able to catch that one.
Broncos trying to get pressure with just a 4-man rush, and unfortunately that penalty, you give Matt Stafford a second chance to convert that 3rd down, and he's going to do it on you. He's a talented quarterback.
First quarter replay is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. 1 on-time flights, you got them, because Southwest Airlines dedicated to Denver. And Javid Best finding running room with another flag on the play.
And a face mask.
Getting almost to midfield to the 48-yard line. About 13 on the play, and we could have more yardage tacked on.
Yeah, the Broncos got gashed on the side. The contained guy, the defensive end, got hooked. The cornerback was blocked, a big running lane, and then Brian Dawkins comes over.
Face mask, defense number 20. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
So Dawkins goes flying in, and just big running lane, and Dawkins reaching high.
Yep.
And that's definitely a face mask.
So Brian Dawkins, who came out and got the crowd going as he normally does when he was introduced, is fired up as he would be for a playoff game. Brian in his 15th year out of Clemson, seeing his first action in preseason. Remember, Champ Bailey not in the game tonight. We believe it's a shoulder problem for Champ. The Broncos resting him. Parrish Cox, the rookie, starting at left corner. First down. And over the middle, and the catch by a good receiver, Calvin Johnson. Had his helmet knocked off, but he was there over the middle. And again, Reg, as we see early in the game, no pressure at all on the Lions quarterback.
That's just a three-man pass rush, and you're not going to get any pressure on not Calvin Johnson, but on Matt Stafford that way, and he just picks it apart. You got 8 men back in coverage. You would think that it would be hard to find an open receiver, but Calvin is a pretty big target.
Veteran Aiken Adele made the tackle, but the Lions are moving at the Bronco 23-yard line. Best, the lone setback, gets the handoff, cuts back the other way. Inside the 20, showed some speed all the way down to the 13-yard line, very close to another first down before Ronaldo Hill out of the secondary able to make the stops. And you know it, unless you're blitzing, if it's your secondary making tackles on ball carriers, normally it's happening downfield. Wink Martindale trying to figure something out defensively. He, of course, the Broncos' defensive coordinator.
Mario Hagan, the linebacker, outside linebacker on that right side, that's the second time in this drive he's lost contain on the right side and let the ball carrier get down the field.
Impressive drive by the Lions. This started back at the 20-yard line. Now they're at the 13. Best again off the right side, inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Justin Bannon ran him down from behind. But the Lions getting some good push on their offensive line, have it going not only on the ground but through the air. A very well-coordinated drive so far by Detroit.
And aided by a couple of untimely penalties by the Broncos. The face mask and the pass interference kept this drive alive. Broncos need to make a stand now inside the red zone.
Burleson is in the slot on the left. Top of your screen, that's Calvin Johnson. He's a dangerous receiver. 2nd and 7. Stafford all kinds of time for the end zone through the hands of the intended receiver. That ball was thrown right on the money and dropped, I believe, by Calvin Johnson. Otherwise, the Lions would have had 6. Now it's Pettigrew, the tight end, yeah, 84, not 81. Parrish Cox in coverage, but that ball was right there.
I wonder if Parrish tipped that ball at all. I don't know. It should have been caught. Yeah, can't really tell if he picked it at all. It was tipped.
So the tight end, Brandon Pettigrew, in his 3rd year out of Oklahoma State, was the man in the area. Slot on the left. This is a 3rd and 7 from the 9. And the Broncos were blitzing, sending some help there. Man-on-man coverage, and the ball overthrown. Goody in coverage on Johnson in the corner of the end zone. So the Broncos decided to give their 3-man rush a little bit of help. And they wound up with single coverage, the Lions did, but they couldn't complete the pass, and they have to settle for a field goal attempt.
And that was just throw it up and let Calvin make a play, but good coverage by Goodman, and I think that ball was thrown a little bit too deep. So good stand for the Broncos. They'd be lucky to come out of this with just 3 points.
Stephen Hoshka, the kicker, signed just in the last couple of days. Jason Hansen, their longtime kicker, is hurt. That kick by Hoshka is good. And we've got a timeout. So the Bronco defense stiffened when they had to. 28-yard field goal attempt gives the Lions an early 3-0 lead. Josh McDaniels and the Broncos behind quickly 3-0 here following a 10-play 71-yard drive. The Lions taking 4 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock, and Hoshka's 28-yard field goal giving Detroit the lead. Tonight's presentation of Broncos preseason football in high definition, powered by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your local electric cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. Visit togetherwesave.com. Parrish Cox is the deep man for the Broncos, about 9 yards deep in the end. He's way back there, about 6 yards deep in the end zone. Hoshka, soccer style, will boot it. And I guess Parrish knew something, because that kick is through the end zone.
A little bit of a wind blowing.
I understand there's light air here, too. I've heard something about that. Bronco offense coming on the field for the first time. Out of the huddle, Kyle getting an extension on his contract, so he's got at least another year here in Denver. Works out of the shotgun, played very well last week in Cincinnati. And Orton able to dump it off and slipping. Eddie Royal. Eddie was open, might have gotten his feet tangled a little bit around the 26. So Orton comes up empty on that one. Kyle last week 8 for 13, 84 yards, couple of touchdown passes, no INTs. Look at that quarterback rating, 119. Really in complete control last week.
Yeah, he looked fantastic, and he earned that new contract that he's got.
Broncos go slot on the right side. And They give it a Lance Ball. Denver wants to run the ball a little bit more tonight. He moves the pile, got up to the 24. Third down and just about 6 coming up after Ball's run. Broncos offensive starting lineup brought to you by your Colorado Chevy dealers. For the best lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs, see your Colorado Chevy dealer today. Batiste and Beatles and Walton, young guys. Hochstein plays tonight for Chris Cooper, and Ryan Harris, who's really now kind of the veteran. Lance Ball with Gaffney and Royal in the offense for the Broncos right now. We'll pick up the rest as we go on this 3rd down and 6. Kyle has time. Flush to the right, looking for some help. Finds it with Eddie Royal. He found the seam. Eddie in the Lion territory, over the 50, down to the 45-yard line. So Kyle Orton able to buy some time. Flag on the play, and we'll see what that's about. And the Lions are saying, Denver, you've got to back up.
Illegal formation offense. Number 74 lined up in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And Ndamukong Suh ran over, I think it was Ryan Harris, ran over him, pancaked him on the way to the quarterback, flushed Kyle Orton out of the pocket. I mean, it was a display of strength. I mean, this kid is unbelievable. Just ran over him, flushed Kyle out. Kyle makes the play down the field, but unfortunately it was all for naught because the Broncos were in an illegal formation.
31-yard pickup negated by the penalty. And Suh is something we all knew he would be. 2nd pick overall in the draft. 6'4", 307 pounds out of Nebraska. 3rd and 11 now at the 19. Rush on, look out. Orton escapes momentarily, escapes again, gets the pass off to Ball, but Lance has nowhere to go, and a penalty at the end of the play. Vanden Bosch comes up moaning to the officials.
That ball was already on the ground, and Vanden Bosch came in with a late hit.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 93. Filed on late, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
But look at the push that these Lions get. I mean, just pressure. Guys coming through everywhere. That's a 4-man rush. There's no reason that the Broncos offensive line shouldn't be able to hold up to that, except, and here comes the hit at the end by Vanden Bosch, except that these guys are so physical, so talented, that just a 4-man rush is going to be devastating.
And this 4-man rush really dominated the Steelers last week in the 1st quarter of the game. Now, ultimately, Pittsburgh won 23-7 once the first stringers were out. But this is a very talented, very fast, and very powerful Detroit front 4. Off the play action, looking for the home run ball, and Orton's pass intended downfield for Brandon Lloyd was overthrown.
And for some reason, it didn't look like Lloyd was running full speed. I mean, you know, I'm sure he was, but it looked like he might have miscommunicated with the quarterback, and he wasn't expecting to be out there by himself, and the ball goes out, and then he speeds up.
Well, here's the other thing, Reg. Off the play action, Broncos didn't run last week, and I think the feeling that Detroit has, you got to prove to us you can run. I'm not sure that play action is going to fool anybody until the Broncos can run the football.
15 carries for 36 yards last week.
2nd down and 10. Broncos have trips left. Over the middle they go. Short pattern, and that is Eric Decker. Eric Decker making the catch, his first, the rookie out of Minnesota, the 3rd-round draft choice. Here's our Rams sideline report with Jesse Kurtz.
All right, guys, Kyle Orton's a happy man fresh off signing that contract extension. He wasn't sure it was going to come so soon, but that doesn't mean he never thought that the Broncos didn't value him as a quarterback.
Anytime you can go out there and just display good work ethic and just do everything team-oriented, which I try to do, I think you're always appreciated by your teammates and your coaches that might not travel outside the building, but I knew how appreciated I was, you know, even last year inside the building.
Josh McDaniels says Kyle Orton symbolizes everything that he would want in a player when it comes to dealing with the competition. Of course, Kyle Orton dealing with a quarterback competition early with Tebow and Quinn, but he has certainly handled himself in a very professional manner.
Jesse, thanks. You know, Chris Houston there had Lloyd covered like a glove, but never looked back for the ball. That pass had no chance of being complete, and that the Lions draw another penalty.
It's a good strategy. If you got a guy playing this kind of bump man coverage, don't worry about trying to complete. Just throw it at his back, tell your receiver to go try to catch it, and the automatic PI.
Football to the 38-yard line. Broncos have been helped mightily by a couple of Lion miscues. And Lance Ball has running room to the 31-yard line. He was tripped up nicely on the play. As coming up from the secondary was number 42, Amari Spivey. Spivey there to stop it. Ball able to get good yardage on the play, about a gain of 7 on the play.
Rushed for 6 carries, 27 yards last week, and that was really the first time the Broncos have taken the ball to the edge. Running up the middle hasn't really worked for them. Maybe they'll come back to that.
Bronco drive continuing, and again, thank you to the Lion defense for a couple of big mistakes that could have gotten them off the field. 2nd and 3. Denver in the eye. Wide receivers each way. It's Ball. Just about to the line of scrimmage before Detroit put a stop to that. 3rd down coming up.
I think the Broncos got a little bit lucky right there. Jabbar Gaffney came in motion, then they changed the play, and a bunch of guys moved and listened to the new play, and Gaffney never came to a complete stop before he went in motion again. So technically that could have been illegal motion.
Denver will go out of the shotgun on 3rd and call it a long 2. Need to get almost to the 28 for a first down. It's darn close to 3 when it come right down to it. Kyle's quick pass. Nicely timed. Denver first down. Jabbar Gaffney making the catch at the 25-yard line. Chris Houston on the tackle, the left corner for the Lions. But the Bronco drive continuing now. This one started at their 20-yard line. They've gotten down now to the Detroit 25.
Good job by Orton recognizing the situation. He had blitz coming from his left side. Single coverage out here with Gaffney. Just puts the ball right on the money. Easy first down.
Denver slot left. Remaining setback was Justin Vargas just in the game. And the former Raider getting to about the 26, so he lost a yard on the play. That play started at the 25, loss of a yard. Want to be in the know when it comes to the Broncos? Now you can. Sign up for the Broncos text alerts from CBS 4. All you have to do is text 4 Broncos to 66247. Again, just text 4 Broncos to 66247. When the Broncos make news, you will be the first to know. Josh McDaniels and the Broncos watching the offense get to the 26, 2nd and 11. Orton again, dumps it off through the hands and intercepted, and look out. If he didn't step out of bounds, this one could go a long way. That is Dre Bly, would you believe? The former Bronco on the deflection. And Dre, who last year played for San Francisco and in the first preseason game picked off a Kyle Orton pass. Dre has done it again, returning the ball all the way to the 27-yard line, a 50-yard return on a pass that went through the hands of Lance Ball, setting up Detroit in Bronco territory at the 27-yard line. First down Lions when we come back. First quarter here in Denver, the Lions leading by the score 3-0. CBS 4 Chalkboard brought to you by the Wildlife Council, managing, protecting, and conserving Colorado wildlife. Reg.
Lance Ball running a flat right here. Here's Dre Bly, drops back a little bit, comes up in coverage. Let's go ahead and roll the play and put this one on Lance Ball. The ball is right there on the money, bounces off his hands. Dre is there to be the opportunist, as he has done, I think, 43 times in his professional career. Returns this one a long way.
Yep, Dre in his 12th year out of North Carolina. Played a couple of years here, you'll all remember, actually 4 from 03 to 06. Job at best, finds running room off the right side. Put his head down, got just about to the 20-yard line. Gain of 6, maybe 7. 2nd and they'll call it 3 coming up. And the Lions off to a good start. And you said it off the top, Reg, you finish at the bottom of the division year after year after year. Sooner or later, these first-round draft choices give you a pretty good team.
Right, I mean, they've got a lot of big top picks, like top 5 picks.
Yep.
But they haven't really been able to turn it into a successful unit, but they certainly have talent.
2nd and 3. He's got all day to throw for the end zone. Calvin Johnson went up and over Goodman and scored a Lion touchdown.
Calvin Johnson is 6'5", 236 pounds. He is a big target. 2nd overall pick in 2007, and Matt Stafford loves throwing to him. Stafford, of course, the 1st overall pick in the draft last year, and has plenty of time back here and just throws it up.
6'5" against 5'10", man-for-man coverage, and that's the result.
Yeah.
So the Lions take advantage of the interception and the return by Dre Bly, tack on a touchdown. And Detroit is on the verge of taking a 10-0 lead. Hauschka to try and add on that extra point. And that is exactly what he did. So the crowd here at Invesco a little bit stunned. Detroit's got a 10-0 lead.
You see the catch by Calvin Johnson, and then watch him when he gets up. You know, he brings back something. That's the mile-high salute. How did he even know about that? This kid was 12 years old back when that was popular in the late 90s.
Should we be flattered or insulted?
I think flattered. I think he meant it in a really nice way.
He meant it in a good way?
I scored in Denver. Mile-high salute.
Calvin Johnson is something. I mean, in the last 2 years, 25 catches of 25 yards or more. At a 20-yard touchdown reception. Again, give the Lions credit. They saw the man-for-man coverage. Goody a little bit too small to cover Johnson that way, and Stafford was able to get it to him. The kick there by Hoshko way deep in the end zone, so he's showing quite a leg. Parrish Cox downing the football, and the Broncos will start at their own 20-yard line, and we'll see what they can do now on this series. Become a Denver Broncos season ticket holder and experience the power of the NFL. United Club level season tickets available now. Call 720-258-3355 to speak with a Broncos representative.
This is a big moment for the Broncos starting offense. They looked so good last week. So far they've done nothing here. Put together a drive, go get a field goal out of it, and just kind of get control of this game again.
Vargas over the 20 to the 21. He got only a yard on the play, and it's really a big test for the offensive line. Let's go down to the Sonic Sports desk. That's where Vic is standing by. Vic.
Thanks, Gary. You know, with Tim Tebow unavailable tonight, the Broncos are down to 2 quarterbacks. You wonder how they're going to play this in the second half. If they may go a little more conservatively, the last thing they want to do is stick Kyle Orton back in the game late in the fourth quarter behind that second or third team offense. All right, here's a look now at our injury report brought to you by Anderson, Hemet & Levine, Colorado's premier personal injury firm. Go to justiceforvictims.com to schedule a free consultation. This week, of course, Tebow with the ribs. Champ Bailey has a shoulder injury. DJ Williams out with a hamstring. And Kyle Orton running for his life.
Sure was. Flag on the play. Matt Willis has the football. Forced out of bounds right at midfield. But the Lions say this won't stand up either. And with Orton running every which way, I imagine.
Offense, left tackle, number 67. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Yeah, I imagine that one of the Broncos linemen had to do something to keep that going, and Batiste caught on the holding.
You know, good movement by Orton, but man, this Lions defensive line, they are just coming and coming. I mean, they're nonstop. There's always another guy coming along to put pressure on the quarterback, and when you're an offensive line dealing with that situation, sometimes all you can do is try to hold on.
And it's really a tough situation for a very young Broncos offensive line. There is D'Anthony Batiste, who was called for the holding, playing, of course, with Ryan Clady injured. Broncos still keeping their fingers crossed. Clady will be ready for opening day in Jacksonville. Broncos run the screen on 2nd and long, and Vargas got up to the 20-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and 10 coming up. Now, we knew about this going into the game, and this is a tremendously talented, people don't, it's the Lions, but they went out and got Kyle Vandenbosch. They were able to draft Sue. They have talent up front. They made a deal for Corey Williams with the Packers. So this is a very talented line. They are very, very quick. They are very powerful, and we're looking at as young an offensive line as exists in the NFL right now.
Yeah, the Lions are winning the physical battle. I mean, they are just changing the line of scrimmage on every play, moving it backward.
3rd down and 10. Orton has time this time, so the protection is good. Time for the deep bomb for Lloyd, and Brandon tried to adjust to a pass thrown over his right shoulder, couldn't quite get there, and the Broncos are going to have to kick it away. So that drive fails to produce a first down, and Denver has to kick.
And once again, that's just a weird-looking play with Brandon Lloyd, and I think it's a timing issue where he and Kyle Orton are not timed up. So when Brandon Lloyd hits the open, he should be at full speed, and Kyle should be releasing that ball, and he just keeps going at full speed. But I think what's happening is Lloyd is getting out behind, not feeling like the ball is coming, and he's slowing down, and then the ball comes right.
Britton Colquitt will kick to Mr. Irrelevant Tim Toon, the last pick in the most recent draft out of Weber State. Tim's got some running room. Down the left side on the Lions sideline and into Bronco territory to the 48-yard line. So Toon sets up the Lions in Bronco territory to start this drive. We do have a flag on the play. Ed Hockley's crew will figure out exactly what went on.
May have been an illegal man down.
Formation by the kicking team. Number 85 lined up in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced at the end of the punt return. Detroit keeps the ball, first down.
Ed Hockley tells us about that 5-yard penalty. That means Detroit's going to start the drive at the 43-yard line when we come back to Invesco Field. All Lions so far, they lead 10-0. The only Broncos pregame show in town is back for it. Countdown to kickoff every Sunday morning right here on CBS 4. And it premieres on Sunday, September 12th. They dropped the ball, Best able to cover up. So Stafford and Best messing each other up. And they lose a couple of yards on the play.
What that play reveals, though, is how little penetration the Broncos are getting. Here's a guy, fumbles the ball, mishandles it, and then still has time to get back on it. And the Broncos defensive line just not able to get penetration.
And the Lions go no huddle, 2nd down and 12. They dump it off to Best. Javid spins and gets inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Javid Best on the carry. Young man played well last week, the 30th overall pick in the draft. He had 6 carries, 29 yards, a rookie out of Cal in the game against the Steelers.
And you look at just the way this game is going, the physical battle is being won by the Detroit Lions. I mean, they are just dominating the Denver Broncos right now. The Broncos need to do something different to snap out of this.
Slot right for Detroit on 3rd and 6. Stafford with time on the crossing pattern. Tony Scheffler on the receiving end. Inside the 30, the former Bronco to the 26-yard line before Mario Hagan and Brian Dawkins stopped him, but not before Tony was able to get a first down. The crowd lets Tony hear it, and Tony says, bring it on.
No huddle once again. And I think the Broncos need to start blitzing. They've got to blitz Matt Stafford and get some pressure on him, because right now nothing is working with a 4-man rush.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. It's Best playing for Kevin Smith, who's the #1 running back. Best getting to play with Smith injured, having had arthroscopic knee surgery. He carries it to the 23. Got about 3, 2nd and 7 now. Interesting, the Lions go no huddle on this drive, keeping the Bronco personnel on the field that they want to see on the field. Detroit is slot left. Again, you're looking for a rush, you don't see one. They find a seam downfield. They've got a first down at the 15-yard line. That ball was caught by Nate Burleson. A Rams sideline report with Jesse.
Welcome back, Tony Scheffler, guys. Well, Scheffler was let go last year after the Broncos couldn't make it work with he and Josh McDaniels. But boy, was he ever a pass-catching threat for the Broncos while he is here. But Josh McDaniels loves those big blockers as tight ends. Back to you.
That is Best, Jesse, carrying it inside the 10 to around the 7-yard line. They look like they're short of the first down.
You know, you look at what the Lions are doing. By going no huddle, there's Scheffler there. By going in no huddle, they are forcing the Broncos to stay on the field with the unit that they have right now. The Broncos only have 2 defensive linemen on the field, only 2 men with their hands down. And so now they hand off the ball and they run it, and they think this is a better situation for them to run against a lighter defensive front and not allow the Broncos to make any changes.
That's the final play of the first quarter. It's been all Detroit. And when we come back and start the second quarter, leading by 10, the Lions are. They're going to have themselves a 1st and goal at the Bronco 4. So far, things not going well for the home team, but a long way to go. Detroit 10-0.
Lions, they're pushing the Broncos around on both sides of the ball. They lead this game. They're knocking on the door. 10-0 after 1 quarter of play, fellas.
All right, Vic, Gary Miller, Reggie Rivers, Vic Lombardi, Jesse Kurtz. We're all here at Invesco Field in Denver. The ball just inside the 5-yard line. Let's call it the 4. 1st and goal for the Lions. And as Vic said, they've dominated to this point. They've played very well offensively and certainly well defensively too. And we'll see if the Broncos can come up with a stand here. Here's Best, who already has 42 yards rushing. Mario Hagan got him from behind. There's a Bronco defensive play, loss of a yard.
That's what the Broncos want to see out of these. The 3-4 look with the linebackers on the outside. You're putting a lot of speed on the edge. They can chase down plays from the backside. They can cut things off. Your linebackers are among your best athletes on the field in terms of size and strength. And so these guys, they're hoping, Mario Hagan being one of them, can start to take control of this game and get it more physical.
Best is the lone setback, lined up alongside the quarterback Stafford. Detroit 112 yards of offense. The Broncos 37 so far. Out of the gun, Second and goal. Stafford flushed out of the pocket. They've got him. Ayers got him. Bannon knocked him down. The Broncos get a sack and make another defensive play.
Robert Ayers is auditioning for the job. Justin Bannon gets a piece of that too. But everyone's worried about what's going to happen. We don't have Elvis Dumerville in there. I mean, now give the credit to the coverage down the field because Stafford's holding this ball for a long, long time. But eventually, Robert Ayers, number 56, gets his hands on him, and Justin Bannon comes to finish him off.
Our second quarter replay is brought to you by Infinity of Denver. Visit Colorado's #1 volume Infinity dealership at infinityofdenver.com for special pricing. Third and goal at the 15. Two big defensive plays consecutively by the Denver D. Loss of 9 on the previous play. Little play action, Stafford still has it. Flushed out by Marcus Thomas, he's gonna run to the 10, and he'll take it out of bounds at the 8-yard line. So the Bronco defense, a good job there. They were first and goal at the 4. They stopped the lines, little pushing, little shoving. As the teams start to get a little warmed up, start to get into it. You know, regular season's not all that far away.
Right, the Broncos were fooled on this by the handoff fake, but able to flush Matt Stafford out of the pocket and force the Lions to come on and try a field goal. So it's a victory for the Broncos after the way this drive had been going to hold Detroit to 3 points right here and keep it a 2-touchdown game.
Oshka will line it up around the 17 or 18-yard line. This is a 28-yard attempt. Just outside the 17, we'll call it 28. Second quarter, 10-0 for the Lions, looking to make it 13-0. The kick from the hash mark on the left. Oshka's kick is good. He is 2 for 2, and the Lions have to settle for a field goal again. So as Reggie says, moral victory for Denver, but on the scoreboard, Detroit's got the lead. Lions tack on a field goal to lead 13-0. Bronco preseason football presented in high definition by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your local electric cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. Visit togetherwesave.com. Bronco fans, good crowd on hand, enjoying a great night for football. It couldn't be more comfortable. I'm not sure, Reg, so far they're enjoying what they're seeing on the field.
Well, so far the Lions are pretty much dominating this, but it's not too late for the Broncos to get physical, as Olivia Newton-John would say, and turn this thing around.
Parrish Cox, 9 yards deep. The rookie wanted to, but they elected not to run it out, and probably a smart thing to do, and he talks things over with one of the Lions. Bronco News and Notes brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Want on-time flights? You get them because Southwest Airlines is dedicated to Denver. Here are our news and notes. Yeah, these two teams don't hook up very often. Only the 5th preseason meeting. Home sweet home. Yeah, the Broncos 213 wins, 76 losses at home, going back to 1975. And great crowds at training camp. More than 43,000 showing up at Dove Valley here at Invesco Field. So plenty of folks coming out this summer to check out the Broncos. Play action for Ort. And then they get him. So Kyle was looking deep, fumbles it late, but they blew it dead. He wanted to throw deep. He had man-for-man coverage on Brandon Lloyd, but Kyle held on to it a little bit, not confident perhaps he could hit Lloyd downfield, and then the Lions got him.
It's what you said earlier. They're running play action when they haven't been running the ball. So the Lions are ignoring the play action fake. They're coming in. The coverage was good down the field because no one was fooled by the fake. And then this Lions defensive line, you just don't have time to sit back there and hold on to the ball.
Kyle Vandenbosch is something. 10th year out of Nebraska, 3-time Pro Bowler, longtime Tennessee Titan. They signed him as a free agent. There's a quick out to Eddie Royal. Put Eddie in the open field over the 20 to the 21. Getting back some yardage there, setting up a 3rd down and just about 9, coming off the 2nd and 17.
I like that as a substitute for a running game. You know, keep throwing it to your short, shifty receivers and let them make some plays, these quick, high percentage passes. They can make some movement, maybe get the Lions off their heels. Give yourself some room to now try to run the ball again.
Denver goes trips right. Lloyd in the game, Eddie Royal in the game, Jabbar Gaffney. The running back is Lance Ball. J.D. Walton over the ball. 3rd and 9. Orton steps up, throws, has his man Gaffney flagged down. Gaffney to the 40-yard line. If the play stands, it'll be a 1st down. We'll see.
Illegal contact on the defense.
Holding defense number 29 before the pass was thrown. That penalty is declined. Play results in a 1st down.
19-yard pickup. Eric King, the guilty party. in his 6th year, number 29 out of Wake Forest. Not before the Broncos able to connect for 19 to Jabbar Gaffney.
Just good calmness by Kyle Orton, waiting this play out and not panicking as the rush starts to get to him and delivers a strike to Gaffney.
Gaffney caught 54 passes last year for 732 yards. Broncos running up the middle. Justin Fargas for a couple of yards. That veteran signed a couple of weeks ago by the Broncos, longtime Raider. Vanden Bosch at the bottom of the pile. There's Justin. Told me this week feels good. A lot of teams concerned about his knee. He said he's ready to go. Broncos gave him an extra week last week. They thought they might play him, elected not to, but now we're seeing Justin in there. Good guy, even though he's a former Raider.
Right, and a hard-nosed player. I've always liked the way that he runs the football.
2nd down and 8 from the 42. Quick drop for Ort. Downfield for Gaffney. Nicely done. Into Lion territory. King in the coverage. Forced him out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So Orton and Gaffney starting to work a little offensive magic. And the Broncos come up with a first down in Detroit territory as those two hook up for the 2nd time in this drive. Another pickup of 19 yards.
Gaffney had just 2 catches last week in Cincinnati, but he is turning it on tonight. Just a nice catch over the cornerback's head, reaching up and grabbing a ball and holding on to it as he goes out of bounds.
Well thrown ball by Kyle Orton. Bronco receivers each way. They're in the eye. Lance Ball made the cutback move, got to the 35-yard line. So we're starting to see the Bronco offense now show a few more things, start to assert itself, and maybe, Reggie, for this situation, we can have the pass setting up the run.
And, you know, getting a little bit more physical up front and doing some different things, get the Lions on their heels. It gives them a chance to now catch them off guard, not deal with this heavy pass rush and passing situations, and that rush becomes a suffocating in run situations. Inside handoff.
That was Ball for a yard. That's about all. Lance Ball, the carrier, 2nd year out of Maryland, 5'9", 220 pounds, New Jersey kid.
Might have been illegal formation again by the Broncos.
We'll see. Ed Hockley, busy tonight. You think Ed's been working out?
He looks buff.
Okay.
Look at the pectorals.
Want to show those?
Illegal motion, offense number 67. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
It's excellent use of the telestrator.
Well, you're welcome. I mean,
we have the technology.
Built, right.
We have the technology. We need to use it.
Ed Hockley's in better shape than some of the players.
Football back to the 40-yard line, 2nd and 11, approaching the 10-minute mark. But all Detroit until this drive. The Broncos moving the ball well. Earlier, they did move the ball pretty well on a drive, too. Got to the Lion 25, but it stalled out. Orton, there's corner blitzing, and the Broncos threw it that way. Lloyd able to get it to around the 36-yard line to the Sonic Sports Desk. That's where Vic is.
Yeah, you mentioned Ed Hockley. We're seeing an awful lot of yellow hankies on the field tonight, and that's something that Stan in Arvada certainly doesn't like. We go back to our Droid Instant Message feature here on CBS4. You go to CBS4.com and weigh in on the Droid Instant Message the Game feature, and he asks, well, it seems after a week of practice, the Broncos penalties would get better, not worse, and tonight we're seeing a few more penalties, fellas.
Well, Vic, remember, a very young offensive line. They're blitzing, and the pass was deflected. Detroit was bringing the house on that one, and somebody got a big mid-up and deflected the Orton pass. So Detroit had the right defense called there.
You know, playing against more talented players will cause more penalties because now and all these other young players, there's J.D. Walton, these guys are getting pushed to their limits. And as a general rule, defensive linemen are more athletic than offensive linemen. So as a general rule, they're going to be out-talented, as it were. But in this case, against the Lions, it's even worse than usual.
4th and 6, and the Broncos say, why not? They go for it. Orton throws, single coverage. Gaffney's got it. Beat King again. Denver first down. They convert that 4th down play.
And what I love about that play is that Kyle Orton didn't care whether that ball was complete or not. He looked out, he saw his bump coverage, he knew that that cornerback is not going to look back for the ball, so he's going to just drill this thing straight at his back. Gaffney catches it, great. If Gaffney doesn't, we might get a pass interference, but King never looks back, and so it gives Kyle Orton a two-way go to get the first down there.
Broncos to the 19-yard line on that carry after coming up big on 4th and 6. for the 14-yard pickup. Football to the 19-yard line. You see Kyle's numbers so far, 8 for 13, 81 yards, and a pick that wasn't his fault. If you saw it, you know it. Ball through the hands of Lance Ball, picked off by Dre Bly, who returned it 50 yards to set up a Lion touchdown. Offset eye. Fargus is the lone back. Play action there. And this time they got Marquez Branson, the tight end. Marquez has been battling a sprained ankle, but he's tough. He's out there. He's to the 15-yard line. Third down coming up.
I love this drive and what the Broncos are doing with their play calling. They're getting the ball out to the edges quickly, short passes, forcing the Lions to move laterally to cover that, and it takes away some of this up the field pressure that they're doing. And here they use it with the play action and the quarterback rolling back against the grain, so they're using the Lions' strength against them.
Denver goes 4 wide, empty backfield. Orton in the gun on 3rd and 4. Has time over the middle. Wide open, Lance Ball. Lance to the 5. Lance to the goal line. Touchdown. He was down. Touchdown. The ball did come loose, but it crossed the plane, and the Broncos are on the board. 15-yard touchdown pass to Lance Ball.
What an impressive drive by the Denver Broncos. They've been getting beat up all night, but they came back, responded. Lance Ball, nice stiff arm. That is big time right there. And then he was in the end zone before that ball came out. But what a way for this team to respond to the physical beating that they were taking earlier.
Confidence-building drive for the Broncos. On the board for the first time tonight. And boy, it seemed like the crowd really did enjoy that. Prater tries to tack on point number 7. Matt does precisely that. And as they come back up the field, Lance Ball has scored a touchdown. The Broncos find themselves right back in the football game. Good drive. It's a 13-7 game in Denver. Back live in Denver, everybody's happy after the Broncos score. A 12-play, 80-yard drive. They took 5:45 off the clock. And how nice for that young man. Earlier in the game, passed through his hands, picked off by Bly, helped set up a Detroit touchdown, and then he comes back, and Lance in his second year doesn't hang his head, comes back, makes a big play.
You know, at this time of the preseason, these guys are trying to make the team, and most of the time, it's not your mistakes that get you cut. Everyone is out there making mistakes. It's the big plays that you make that separate you from the crowd, and Lance Ball certainly made a big one there.
Well, that's a great point you just made. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Prater's kick, boom to the back of the end zone, so the Lions will start at the 20-yard line. We'll talk more about mistakes and how they affect a coach and making the team when we come back to Denver. Broncos have pulled within 13-7. The CBS 4 chalkboard brought to you by the Wildlife Council, managing, protecting, and conserving Colorado wildlife.
Look at the recognition by Kyle Orton. He sees the corner blitz is coming. The safety has to come there to cover. Let's go ahead and roll the play. And so Kyle, as soon as he's seen this quarter coming, boom, hit the open receiver. The safety's too far away to get there. Just good recognition and execution by Kyle Orton.
Good ball game, the ones versus the ones. Broncos are blitzing, and Stafford got it off. And the Lions able to pick up the blitz, get a short gain. Goodman on the tackle there, after the Lions get 5 yards on the play on that pass completion.
But it's good to see the Broncos blitzing again, trying to bring some pressure on Matt Stafford, change the physicality of this game in their favor. 2nd down and 5. Bronco defense throwing a wrinkle at the Lions on the last play, and they were ready for it. Cutback move and a good one. They've got nowhere to go as Kevin Smith comes in the game. Kevin recovering from knee surgery, getting a play there. A Ram sideline report from Jesse Kurtz.
All right, guys, tops on every quarterback's wish list, a #1 receiver. And maybe Kyle Orton has his guy this year in Jabbar Gaffney. If tonight is any indication, Jabbar's had a whale of a first half. There on the quick out, down to the outside, and then Jabbar Gaffney going up and getting that one before going out of bounds. And Jabbar Gaffney and Kyle Orton, 4 catches, 58 yards for no 10 for the Broncos. Pretty good first half, fellas.
All right, Jess, 3rd down and 5 now. Football's at 25-yard line. Broncos showing blitz, and here they come. And they set up the screen. That is a well-designed play and a catch by Tony Scheffler, his 2nd in the game. And Tony coming over the middle able to get the football out to the 34-yard line. The crowd greets Tony again. He's enjoying it. Join the Broncos in London this October when they take on the 49ers on October 31st. Official fan packages available now. Call 800-638-6427 or visit denverbroncos.com/London to learn more. Scheffler a couple of catches, that a big third down play. Give the Lions credit. They picked up the blitz, ran the right play, and got the first down. Play action for Stafford in the pocket. Able to get this one off out of the backfield. Kevin Smith in his third year out of Central Florida, 6'1", 217 pounds. Been bothered by an ailing knee. Did not play last week. Seeing some action now. Football to the 41-yard line. So they get just about 8 on the play.
This is a good test game for the Broncos in their second game. The Lions are really throwing a lot at them game plan wise. A lot of formations, a lot of not trick plays, but a lot of complicated plays, really challenging the Broncos.
Second down, almost 3. The cutback move for the first down and then some. Number 28, Maurice Morris in there. In his 9th year out of Oregon, 5'11", 216 pounds. So the Lions now starting to mix and match in their backfield, and they get another first down at the 47.
You know, when the Lions were able to run the ball basically straight up the middle, as they did just there, a little bit of a cutback, that's running into the teeth of what the Broncos feel most proud of on their defense, that those guys in the middle aren't going to give up much ground in the running game. And so that's really something that the Broncos, I think, are concerned about at this point.
Detroit up 13-7, first down. Here's Morris. Got up to the 49. Robert Ayers wrapped him up, knocked him down, gain of a couple. You know, we give you a laundry list of all the players in this game, and for various reasons who are not playing for the Broncos.
So who's who of Broncos?
You know, I mean, Stokely, Champ Bailey, Noshawn Moreno, DJ Williams, Ryan Clady, Chris Cooper, Demarius Thomas, Elvis Dumerville, Daniel Graham, and a fellow named Tebow. So, you know, the bottom line is the Broncos need these guys who are on the field to perform too. But keep in mind, the Broncos not exactly at full strength.
Right,
Don't have a full deck tonight. Second down and 8. Out of the gun. Stafford on the slant. Nicely done. Bryant Johnson in his 8th year out of Penn State has the ball in Denver territory. It is good enough for a first down at the 42.
So now first down, the Lions are probably going to come out and I think throw the ball, or they're bringing in another tight end, probably going to run the ball. The Broncos crowd the line of scrimmage and try to get penetration up the field. Run or pass. If it's a pass, then you got the blitz on. If it's a run, you're swarming the ball carrier. But I'd love to see them right here try to change the line of scrimmage in their favor.
What we really would like to see, I think, more and more is a little pressure on Stafford. I think that's what everybody's waiting for. Look at the time he has. Steps up, dumps it off. He's got Smith out of the backfield, upended by Andre Goodman, but not before he got to the 37. Third down coming up. They get 5 on that one.
Big third down for the Broncos. Now 2:55 left or so in the half, and probably these starters are only going to play for the first half. So
Jim Schwartz, the Lions coach, from the 37-yard line, second down and 5. Five to the 33. Brian Dawkins there. Nate Jones also up from the secondary. They're just short of the first down. It'll be third and just about a yard, maybe less. Detroit so far in the game, 2 for 4 on third down conversions. Another opportunity for the Lions now.
And the Broncos are sending out the beef. Ryan McBean just came in the game. Jamal Williams, I think, is out there in the game. You know, they've got their big bodies, and looks like we hit the 2-minute warning.
Yep, we do indeed, as Kyle Orton talks things over with Josh McDaniels. I'm sure telling Josh what he's been seeing from the Detroit defense. So timeout, big third down play when we come back. 2-minute warning. Lions are up 13-7. 2 minutes to go in the first half as you take a look at the Broncos offensive line. They've been in there all the way and I think gotten a bit of education playing against a very good Detroit front four. Stafford 5 for 5 on this drive, 12 for 14 in the game. So Matthew Stafford in the second year, very effective. Little play action, 3rd and 2, first down and then some. They are inside the 15. That's Moore carrying the ball all the way to the 11-yard line before the Broncos, Adele, Goodman, and Dawkins put a stop to that. But not before, again, it seems like they have the right play call time after time.
You look, Joe Mays ran into the official, so the Lions got an assist. Joe Mays accidentally running into the official, and springs the running back wide open, able to convert the first down, get it in just to the 11-yard line.
23 yards on the play for the Lions on 3rd and 2. Lone setback. Stafford throwing for the end zone, throws that one away. So that time the Broncos had Burleson covered, double covered in fact. Stafford saw it, and again the maturation process, a young quarterback in his 2nd season. Remember now last year, he threw 13 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. Maybe last year he tries to complete that pass. This year he takes a look, sees the odds are greatly against him, throws it away, and lives to play again on 2nd down.
That's true. And did you notice how clean his jersey is? Good grief. I mean, nobody has touched him. Nobody has sweat on him. He doesn't have any grass stains. There's nothing.
That will not have to go to the laundry, eh? Yeah, he's been sacked once. Don't forget that. Ayers and Bannon got him. 2nd and 10. This one for the end zone through the hands of Scheffler. Tony can't hang on. Dawkins in the area. The crowd again lets Tony hear about it. You know, he wishes he could have caught that one. A Rams sideline report with Jesse.
All right, guys, you're talking about pass rush. Boy, do the Broncos ever need Robert Ayers to step up. He has today, one instance, has a sack already of Matt Stafford, but the Broncos will be looking to him to replace Elvis Dumerville in some way. I mean, 17 sacks is a lot to replace. The Broncos will have to do it as a team, but they'll look to Ayers to lead the way.
All right, Jesse, 3rd down and 11. Josh McDaniels watching his defense now, see if they can come up big. Crowd getting into it, letting the Bronco defense know that they have their support. Stafford flushed out, looks for the end zone, fires, and that one's overthrown in the back of the end zone. Adele in coverage.
Man, that was good coverage in a tough situation. When you're in a short field like that and the quarterback starts to roll out, it is very hard for those defensive backs not to put their hands on a receiver, not to bump into a receiver. They kept everybody covered without committing defensive holding or illegal contact down the field. Very nicely done.
Bryant Johnson, the intended receiver. Stafford talking things over on the Lions sideline. 3rd time now the Bronco defense has come up big and forced the Lions into a field goal attempt. This kick from almost the 20-yard line. Call it a 30-yarder. Hoshka's kick is good. He's 3 for 3. So the Bronco defense again does stop the Lion drive, holding them to a field goal. When we come back, the Bronco 2-minute offense comes on. 59 seconds to go till halftime. Vic apparently exposing his arms here. Is that, oh no, it's okay. There you go. Mix and match them, Bronco fans. On Sunday nights after the Broncos game, there's only one place to turn, Arby's All Access, the only show that can take you behind the scenes and get you the exclusive interviews. Arby's All Access Broncos edition premieres Sunday, September 12th on CBS 4. Lions lead 16-7. Matthew Willis is the deep man. Hoshka doing all the kicking with their veteran Hansen out injured. And this one drives Matt way through the end zone. So we're seeing some long kicks and very little opportunity for run backs here. But Kyle Orton, who has gone all the way in the first half, brings the offense out there. He's 11 for 16, 108 yards through the touchdown. The deflected interception, which was unfortunate. And we'll see what the Broncos can do in the 2-minute drill.
2-minute drill for the first time for Kyle Orton this season. He has 59 seconds to work with and 80 yards to cover. Let's see what they do.
Brady Quinn, who we'll see in the second half, ran this well last week in Cincinnati, and the Broncos wound up with a field goal. Denver goes slot left, 1st down. Kyle with time over the middle. Gaffney, he and Gaffney seem to have some pretty good chemistry going. Football out to the 31-yard line, 11 on the play. Broncos in the hurry up, approaching the 45-second mark. 1st down. Orton again steps up, felt the pressure. Gaffney again in the seam into Lion territory. Down to the 41-yard line. Timeout Denver. So back-to-back effective plays. Orton to Gaffney. And Jesse mentioned it earlier, and you start to get the feeling in terms of a favorite receiver. There he is, number 10 to the Sonic Sports Desk and Vic.
Yeah, you just get that feeling Gaffney's going to have a big year. How many times have we seen now Orton throw that pass to his back shoulder? All right, Time for you to get involved in the game tonight. Our Droid Instant Message the Game feature at CBS4Denver.com. And this one comes from Mitch in Littleton. And Mitch says, hey, really like what I'm seeing out of Kyle Orton tonight. Calm and confident. You know what? He's been that way the entire preseason, and the Broncos rewarded him with a nifty little $9 million extension next year, fellas.
I think he's been that way his whole life. He seems like a pretty calm and confident personality
I think
type.
$9 million is a nice confidence boost, but that's just me. Orton throws. Gaffney over his shoulder, caught it, but was out of bounds. So they are really hooking up now. Third in a row, 16 on the first, 24 on the second. That would have been even more, but that pass caught out of bounds. Again, thrown over his outside shoulder.
Gaffney needs to come out to catch his breath, so that means somebody else is going to have to make a catch.
Broncos really, with Brandon Marshall gone, a lot of talented receivers, and it's a question of who Orton develops confidence in and who's playing well. And so far tonight, certainly Jabbar Gaffney. Second down. Kyle over the middle has a completion to the 28-yard line. Timeout called by Josh McDaniels and the Broncos. After that pass was caught, Matt Willis.
And look how nicely Josh McDaniels and Kyle Orton are marching down the field. They're not afraid to use the middle of the field. They started this drive with 80 yards to go, only at 59 seconds. You probably expect them to throw toward the sidelines, but they have worked exclusively the middle of the field and made some big plays down the field and then moved up, called timeout when they needed to, have controlled the clock.
Well, of course, Reg, you can do that when you have all 3 of your timeouts. Now the Broncos down to 1 timeout, and we'll see now if they start to work the sidelines a little bit more. Ball at the 27, first down. Willis's first catch of the night. Denver in the shotgun again. Gaffney, as you see, getting a breather. Little pump fake for it. Look at that time. Dumps it off. That's not going very far. Branson's got it, and they get Branson. The Broncos have to call their final timeout. Football to the 22-yard line with 15 seconds. See, Reg, this is the difference when you used to play. If you went out for a breather, you were pretty much gone for about 2 quarters. Gaffney takes a play off and is ready to go again.
Right, he's ready to go again. But see, the difference between me and Gaffney is that if I ever said I need a breather, they'd be like, what? The one play we gave you and now you need a breather?
Exactly. I guess you have to catch 3 or 4 in a row for them to accept it.
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
You see Kyle on target on this drive, 4 or 5 for 58 yards.
That's 80%, Gary.
Yeah. Nicely done, Reg.
Thank you. I learned that in second grade.
All right, now remember, no timeouts. So if they wind up with a completion on the field, they're going to have to hurry up to try a field goal. And I'm not sure the Lions stepped in and called time just as the ball was snapped.
Or
it's a 30-second timeout.
If they get a first down, they could run up and spike the ball. They have enough time to do that as well.
Jim Schwartz, as we said, in his second year, longtime defensive coordinator in Tennessee. And we understand when Kyle Vanden Bosch was a free agent at midnight the night he became a free agent, there was Mr. Schwartz knocking on his door. Can I come in and can we talk?
Right. Yeah.
Little turkey here.
That's the way you do it. And I mean, he's got a lot of talent stockpiled. Look what they've done the past 3 years. This year, second overall pick, they get Ndamukong Suh. Last year, first overall pick, Matt Stafford. 2007, the second overall pick, Calvin Johnson. They've got some talented players, high drafted players to build around.
2nd and 5 at the 22. Orton throws deep for the end zone. Flag on the play, and that ball knocked away. Never really had a chance. Downfield, Brandon Lloyd. The ball batted away, though, by one of the Lions in the end zone. And the Broncos are applauding whatever the officials are discussing. Ed Hockley will let us know.
Personal foul, face mask, number 79 of the defense against the receiver. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Willie Young, 6'5", 251 pounds, a rookie out of North Carolina State. Called for a face mask against the receiver.
Number 79. It could have been against
tight end.
I was going to say a tight end, but there's not a tight end on the field. They're in 2-minute 4 wides, so that is strange to hear that call against a receiver. Him doing that against a receiver.
Now the football is at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 11, just 10 seconds to go. Broncos with no timeouts, remember. Orton looks, throws. He's got Branson to the goal line. Did he get in? You bet he did. Marquez Branson, tight end, and the Broncos think he's the kind of tight end who can stretch the field. He was open inside the 5, and he was able to dive to the goal line, and the Broncos get a touchdown in the final seconds of the first half.
What an impressive drive by Kyle Orton. Started at their own 20-yard line, marched it down the field, used the middle of the field to get down there, and then the strike to Branson, and he's able to get into the end zone.
Broncos with a chance to pull within a couple. 7-play, 80-yard drive in 56 seconds. That's how you run the 2-minute offense. Prater's kick is good. 3 seconds to go till halftime. And the Broncos have woken everybody up, and folks feeling a whole lot better about things. They're down by 2.
And look how impressive now. You look at the scoring drive, 7 plays, 80 yards. But look how impressive those Broncos defensive stops look now. They had 3 drives they were down there, held them to 3 field goals, kept the game close, so that Kyle Orton, in the closing seconds of the second half, can get another touchdown pass and pull the Broncos back within 2 points. They've been dominated for most of this game, but now they're right back in it.
Branson, who's been bothered by a sprained ankle, and one day, they brought him back this week, and he limped off the field, and we wondered, and he's a tough kid. He came right back the next day, raring to go. And with Daniel Graham out nursing an injury, the first-year player out of Central Arkansas, 6'3", 247 pounds. He had 4 catches last week for 25 yards. And again, Reg, how vital is that? I mean, in terms of the play goes, if he doesn't get across the goal line, they don't have time for another play.
Right.
Exactly. They wind up with nothing.
Absolutely.
So that was a do-or-die dive, and Marquez Branson, he was able to do it. Prater will kick off what should be the final play of the half. Broncos have had a good second quarter. Matt just bounces it downfield. One of the Lion upmen picks it up, and he'll hit the dirt, or the turf, we should say. And we have come to halftime in Denver on a perfect Saturday night for football, and an entertaining football game while underway. Lance Ball has a Bronco touchdown. Marquez Branson has a Bronco touchdown. The Lions have a 16-14 lead. We've come to halftime. Vic Lombardi standing by at the Sonic Sports Desk.
Well, that certainly ended on a good note. Kyle Orton just mastering that 2-minute offense. He's done that all of training camp. You watch him during practice, very fluid when he's got the ball in his hands on that hurry up. All right, coming up at halftime, a news update from our CBS 4 studios. And after that, halftime highlights here from Invesco Field. Broncos down by 2. It's 16-14. Preseason football right here on CBS 4.
First 16, the Broncos. It is 16-14. We will see Brady Quinn here in the third quarter. Tim Tebow out this evening, resting those sore ribs. First half stats brought to you by Conoco, who remind you to always fill up with quality Conoco gasoline. Conoco, because your car knows. Well, Reg, Broncos still obviously having a little bit of trouble running that football.
But look how they've made up ground in the passing yards department. You know, you said the total yardage earlier. The Lions had like an 8-1 advantage over the Broncos. They have closed that gap down. You look at they've gotten on penalty yards, some crucial penalties at points, and they're about even on first down. So the Broncos really turned things around in that second quarter.
Matt Willis getting set to receive the kickoff from that man, Steve Hauschka. Josh McDaniels and the Broncos down by 2, second preseason game. Tonight's second half kickoff brought to you by Village Inn, home of the incredible VIB. Customize your craving with over 27,000 different combinations. So we are ready for the third quarter of play. Next Sunday night, the Broncos here hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll wrap up preseason play in Minnesota on September 2nd, a game you'll see right here on CBS 4. Hauschka's kick, and Matt Willis might return this one. He's been waiting for that one, only 5 yards deep in the end zone. Matt, little hesitation, got to about the 18-yard line, and that's where the Broncos will start to begin the third quarter of play with Brady Quinn in at quarterback. And for Brady, really a mixed bag last week in Cincinnati. A shaky start, threw an interception that resulted in a touchdown, but then led an effective 2-minute drive. Here's Brady, 6-16, 68 yards, no touchdowns, and that INT. And Quinn figures to see the bulk, if not all of the action here in the second half. Out of the eye, Broncos give it to their tailback for a yard. He carries them to about the 20-yard line, give him a couple of yards on the play. Justin Fargas, the ball carrier, second down and 8.
So for the Broncos, I think we're going to see their starting offensive line pretty much all the way through. I would suspect that the Lions have already taken out most of their starters on the defensive front, but we'll have to pay attention and see who's making the play.
Well, it's interesting. Beatles has shifted to left tackle. Seth Olson is in at left guard. Walton still the center. We'll pick up the rest as we go. That pass intended for Nathan Overbay was a little bit short and incomplete. Third down coming up. Tonight's presentation of Broncos preseason football in high definition, powered by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your local electric cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. Visit togetherwesave.com.
Now, Josh McDaniels said he wanted Brady Quinn to have a faster start this week. 3 and out is not what he wants. That last pass could have been completed. A bad throw by Quinn. Needs a good one here.
Batista shifted over to right tackle. Flag on the play on this third down. Quinn had time. That pass caught by Eric Decker, his second reception at the 30. There is a flag, though, on the play.
Illegal formation. Offense number 68 lined up in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
So, Reg, we've seen that a couple of times as the Broncos shift and mix and match on the offensive line. Is that why a penalty like that happens?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And for Beatles, he's now moving. He started the game at left guard. He's moved out to left tackle. I mean, when he was at Utah, he started 38 games at left tackle, 12 games at left guard. So he's versatile, and he's proving that versatility. But as you move out away from the ball, your tendency is to get a little bit more arc in your stance to give yourself some time to react to the defensive end.
So that penalty cost the Broncos a first down. 3rd and 14. Quinn in trouble, gets it away, able to lob it to Lance Ball, who's got nowhere to go at the 20-yard line. So Brady saves a sack, but little more, and the Broncos have to punt.
So not a 3 and out, but a 4 and out, sort of, after the penalty.
Dante Wesley, a cornerback, was in the backfield there for the Broncos.
I think here I'd like to see Brady Quinn step up a little more aggressively as he feels that pressure. The way we've seen Kyle Orton do today, as the pressure comes, kind of an aggressive step up into the pocket, make a firm throw.
Our third quarter replay is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Get to know a Farmers agent today. Call 800-FARMERS or visit farmers.com. Colquitt's kick. This is Toon back at the 21. And Mr. Irrelevant has nowhere to go. The Broncos downfield, make it Cassius Vaughn, number 41, who now grabs his hamstring. We'll see about that. Timeout. Brady Quinn on the sidelines after the Broncos had to kick it away. Colquitt punting well, by the way. That was a 58-yarder, no return. Brady talking things over with Mike McCoy. And now a new quarterback in for the Lions, the veteran Sean Hill, 6'3", 220 pounds, 9-year pro out of Maryland. Sean Hill now at the controls for the Lions. They're in the eye, slot on the left. They start at the 20. They give it to the lone running back. I believe that was Aaron Brown, number 21, just in the game. There's Hill again, as we say, a veteran, been around. In his 9th year, last year, for his career, completing 61% of his passes, almost 3,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Pretty good quarterback rating for a guy who hasn't gotten to play all that often.
True. One thing not on that list, sacked 47 times in those 16 starts. And so when you don't get a lot of reps in there, you tend to hold on to the ball maybe a little bit too long.
2nd down and just about 7. There's an end around. This is Toon. Tries to beat Alfonso Smith, and Smith could not come up with the tackle. Toon able to get out to the 28-yard line. So Alfonso Smith broke through there. Cassius Vaughn, who a few moments ago we thought might have grabbed his hammy, seems to be fine. And there is Toon, and his claim to fame, he is Mr. Irrelevant. Final pick in the draft out of Weber State. And they think he's a player. They think he has a chance to make their team. They were very impressed with him last week in Pittsburgh, and they like what they've seen with him as a receiver in the slot and also on special teams. 3rd down, just about 3.
Jarvis Moss, nice rush.
Alfonso Smith, Cassius Vaughn combining to knock the ball away from Derek Williams. So Alfonso Smith, a 2nd-round pick last year for the Broncos, trying to make his presence felt, comes up with a play. And he was right there with Williams and deflected the ball away and stopped the Lion offense on 3rd down.
Look at Jarvis Moss with the spin move, gets in to get some pressure. Good job putting your hands up. I didn't do anything. Please.
Sure, he fell on his own, absolutely. First punt of the game for the Lions, would you believe? Nick Harris, drafted by the Broncos back in 2001. on the 4th round out of Cal. Never made the team, but has hung around the league all this time. Flag on the play. And here's Parrish Cox. The Broncos have been waiting for him to do something like this, the cutback move. Cox inside the 20, finally caught at the 15-yard line. Parrish Cox all the way to the 15, showing his open field speed and moves. There is, however, a flag on the play.
I think that flag is going to be against the Lions for going downfield too early.
Illegal formation by the kicking team number 53, lined up in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty is enforced at the end of the punt return. Denver ball, first down.
Parrish Cox gets some great blocking, and then it's just speed. Look at all the defenders he outruns over here. Guys who had the angle on him, but he just outruns them. And then the strength at the end of this run, he breaks the tackle, adds another 7 or 8 yards.
65-yard return for the rookie out of Oklahoma State, drafted in the 5th round by the Broncos.
It's easy for you to say.
Apparently not. Vargas put his head down. The Lions wrap him up, hit him behind the line. That was one big-time hit. Helmets flying. Rams sideline report with Jesse.
That was one big-time return as well. You're starting to see why the Broncos drafted Parrish Cox in the 5th round. He has 4 touchdown returns and a kickoff for Oklahoma State in his career. That's a Cowboys record, and Josh McDaniels loves this guy. Says the vets have already started to trust him. It goes a long way in that locker room when you got a rookie who already has the veterans' respect.
And you can see on the sidelines, Parrish getting a pat on the shoulder pads there from the coach. 2nd and 11. Decker in motion. They pass it out to Decker. 3rd round pick out of Minnesota. Number 87 to the 7-yard line before he was stopped on the play by the Lions. The Broncos will face a 3rd down play here.
Nice. Simple little play there to get the ball into your receiver's hand and let him make a few yards. And now the Broncos have a 3rd and goal situation at the 8.
DeAnthony Batiste started the game at left tackle, now playing the right side. J.D. Walton's gone all the way at center. Quinn in the pocket. Steps up and down he goes. Could not get away. Flag on the play, too. Thrown by the referee, so we'll see.
It's got to be holding.
That's what it normally is. Yep, holding coming up.
Holding, offense, number 64. Penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
Stanley Daniels in the game at right guard. Caught holding on the play. Lion defense holds. Still the Broncos a field goal opportunity, potentially, to take their first lead of the game.
And I am frustrated for Brady Quinn. I'm dying for him to have a drive or have a chance to do something. There was a chance for him to make a throw into the end zone, and well, he'll still have more chances.
So the Broncos, a 30-yard field goal attempt by Prater. Colquitt holds from the hash mark on the right. Great return by Parrish Cox, and the Bronco offense can't get in the end zone. Prater's kick is there, and Matt, who kicked 30 of 35 last year, adds that one, and the Broncos have their first lead of the evening. 9:46 to go, 3rd quarter. Beautiful night in the Mile High City. Broncos by a point. CBS 4 Chalkboard brought to you by Taco Bell. Check out tacos for touchdowns at Taco Bell.
Look at this return by Parrish Cox. One of these 3 guys should have been able to make the tackle. Let's roll the play. But his speed, as they're coming this way, his speed just takes away their angles, and bam, he is gone.
Prater kicking off. Toon is the deep man for Detroit. And he'll take it about 4 yards deep and run this one out. Toon in the tail. Oh, was he ever hit? That's a big-time hit by Sidquan Thompson. Broncos 7th round draft choice. Sidquan downfield, and that's how a young man gets noticed in preseason.
You know, we talked about this earlier, that everybody is out there making mistakes. Some are more visible than others, but the coaches see them. It's the plays that you make that distinguish you. So when you're making plays on special teams like Sidquan just did there, that's what the coaches sticks in their heads and say, when this guy had an opportunity, he did something. We think he'll do that in the regular season too.
1st and 10 for the Lions. Sean Hill is the quarterback. From the 18-yard line, over the middle on the slant. Nicely thrown, nicely caught. Moore on the receiving end. We'll make it Williams, Derek Williams, 2nd year out of Penn State.
And Jarvis Moss does a good job here getting his hands up, almost slaps this ball down, and Jarvis is another one of those guys fighting as we watch this. Just a slant route, nice catch there, but Jarvis, another of those guys fighting for a roster spot, fighting to be part of the replacement for Elvis Dumerville.
14 yards on that play. Lone setback. Detroit slot left. Tune in the slot. They give it to their lone running back. That's here. That's Brown with a flag down.
Holding again on the Lions.
Holding, offense number 63. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, number 63, would you believe, is Manny Ramirez.
Really?
It's
Manny
true.
Ramirez, a two-sport athlete?
Looks like he's gained a little weight. Manny, 6'3", 326 pounds, his 4th year out of Texas Tech. Hasn't been playing much baseball lately. Apparently he's joined the Lions.
You think about how many times these days we say things like 326 pounds.
Sure.
It's hard to believe how big offensive linemen have gotten.
First down and 20 at the 22. Broncos try to put some pressure on. Hill gets away, throws along the sidelines, and that pass is caught inbounds right on the Detroit sidelines. Nicely done by veteran Dennis Northcutt. 5'11", 172 in his 11th year out of Arizona. Dennis, a longtime Cleveland Brown.
Look at this. He's just sitting out there all by himself and just has to keep his toes in bounds as this ball comes in.
12 yards, 17 yards on that play. Football to the 39, 2nd and 3 at the 39-yard line. Broncos up by a point. Aaron Brown in his 2nd year out of TCU, the ball carrier. Takes it for first down yardage, almost to the 45. So the Lions starting to get their game going a little bit. Nate Jones, former Dolphin, in the Broncos secondary for the tackle.
Josh McDaniels telling us that last week he was disappointed in the overall effort by his 2nd and 3rd team guys. Just thought there were too many mistakes, too many guys, their heads kind of swimming, and he was hoping that in the 2nd game they would settle down a little bit and make fewer mistakes.
1st and 10 at the 45. That pass finds the open tight end. Again, the seam of the Bronco secondary. Sonic Sports Desk. Vic is standing by there. Vic.
By the way, I ran into Tony Scheffler as he made his way out of the locker room at halftime, and he said, yes, he was disappointed that he was received with boos here at Invesco Field. Slightly disappointed. All right, time now for our Droid Instant Message of the Game feature, and Daniel in Pueblo wants to know, with Dumerville out, who will step up in the linebacker core? Well, you're seeing it. Had a half a sack. Jarvis Moss had a nice QB pressure. They're going to need it from everybody.
Play
Jarvis
action,
again.
rush on, and down he goes. Jarvis got there. Ball may have come loose. We'll see. Broncos say it did. It's Denver ball.
And that is the speed that Jarvis Moss had when he came out of college. It never really materialized in the first 3 years of his NFL career, but that is what the Broncos need to get out of Jarvis Moss. If he can do what we've always seen him do in college, if he can do that in the pros, they won't miss Elvis so much.
Jarvis Green recovered the fumble. Denver ball. Jarvis Moss, he forced the fumble. Jarvis Green, the veteran, acquired from New England as a free agent, able to recover it. So the Jarvises combined to give the Broncos the ball at the Lion 45-yard line. Those fans enjoying it. Quinn dished it off. Broncos get about 2, maybe 3 on the play. They'll spot the football at the 42-yard line. Pickup of 2. Fargas the carrier? I think so, yeah. Justin Fargas indeed.
So here Quinn has another chance with good field position to put a drive together. I hope that they're, second and 8 passing situation. Very good.
Slot on the left for Denver. Eric Decker in the slot. So Eric back off that foot injury he suffered 2 weeks ago tonight here in the scrimmage at Invesco Field. Again, Fargas put his head down. Move that pile a little bit. The Broncos like to see that. The veteran showing his power. Football to the 36-yard line. We want to welcome all our viewers watching on the Denver Broncos Football Network. Tonight's game being aired on stations across the Rocky Mountain West. Good to have you along for Broncos preseason football. 3rd and short yardage, 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Broncos coming in with their heavy package. They've got 3 tight ends in the game. One of them is in the backfield lined up as a fullback.
That's Branson. We'll see who moved first. Obviously the Lion jumped, but was he drawn offside by Seth Olson, the left guard?
Encroachment, defense number 96. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Penalty on Detroit.
Llewellyn.
Gives the Broncos a first down. Yep, Andre Llewellyn. Rams sideline report with Jesse Kurtz.
All right, guys, well, you can bet Brady Quinn is excited about these extended reps. He was the first one on the field after halftime. He'll probably get all the reps with Tim Tebow out.
Yeah, that's what we anticipate. So Brady a chance to show his
More
stuff.
snaps is always good. It doesn't matter when they come or wherever they're at. More snaps is always good. Every time's a good
And
time.
of course, they want him to start fast, but right now, not so much, and he goes down there on the sack. Fellas?
All right, Jesse, that's the thing. And Brady kind of has a word or two for a teammate there as that play broke down. Number 50, Isaiah Ekajuba, making the tackle.
And I think what Broncos fans, what the Broncos coaches, I think, want to see out of Brady Quinn is just the energy. What we saw of him coming out of college, you know, to fire some balls down the field. If there's pressure, get rid of the ball. Don't take the sack. Try to get rid of the ball. Make something happen out there. This is your time to shine.
Second down and 22. Play action, and Brady dumps it off to Fargas with blockers. Cuts back, gets to the 35-yard line. So the Broncos get a few back on that one, 8 on the play. Setting up a third down, and it's more manageable, 3rd and 14, obviously. Under 5 minutes to go in the third. Broncos have scored 17 points in a row from the second into the third quarter after Detroit got the initial 16.
That hurt for Fargas. He set up the block, and he thought that Seth Olsen was about to block that cornerback and came inside of him. The corner came straight through and hit him unannounced.
Britt Davis is wide to the top of your screen, 3 wide. That pass is thrown short of the first down. It's Decker, I believe, at the 27-yard line. So the rookie with 3 catches in the game. So Eric Decker doing very well out of Minnesota, their 3rd-round pick. And Eric's been bothered by a foot injury 2 weeks ago tonight here in the scrimmage. He left with what appeared to be a sprained ankle. Came back to practice, 3 catches.
That's a kid who's twice drafted into the MLB by Milwaukee in 08 and Minnesota in 09, and outfielder. But he has chosen to play football.
Matt Prater on 4th and 6 lines up a 45-yard field goal attempt. Matt's made a couple tonight. He's got plenty of leg, but he hooked it. So Prater's kick is wide to the left, and the Broncos maintain just a 1-point lead. Timeout at Invesco Field at Mile High. Broncos lead 17-16, 3:46 to go in the third quarter. Second preseason game. Both these teams took it on the chin last week. The Broncos in Cincinnati. The Lions were on the road in Pittsburgh. They lost 23-7. Broncos, of course, 8-8 last year as the first-string offense enjoys their evening's work. Gaffney and Orton combining very well. Brady Quinn looking like he'd like to get back out there. So far, it's been a bit of a struggle for Brady in the third quarter. Sean Hill still in there. Dumps it off. That pass caught by the tight end. Put his head down. Knocked down by Alfonso Smith. So Alfonso playing well. You're noticing Alfonso making some good plays here in the third quarter of play and knocking down a big tight end on that one and stopping him from gaining any additional yardage.
Alfonso Smith led the Broncos with 6 tackles last week against Cincinnati. He's busy, and he's always around the ball.
Will Heller, 6'6", 275 pounds is the tight end. You see Hill's numbers, 4 for 5 so far in the game. 5 yards on the previous play. Here comes Brown. Tries the left side. Gets up to the 42. It'll be third down coming up. Running back Aaron Brown, second year out of TCU. I mean, what kind of courage does it take, Reg? To throw your body in front of a guy who weighs 275 pounds when you're a guy like Alfonso Smith, who's probably, what, 180, 185?
Well, it takes some courage. He did throw low. The tight end just went down there with him. You know, that's the smart thing. Go at his legs. But when the guy goes down there with you, you say, hey, hey, whoa.
Third down and 4. They spotted at the 41. Empty backfield. Hill in the gun. Slot receivers each way. Boy, Moss got in there quickly. Pass over the middle, right in the hands of Alfonso Smith, who will be dreaming about that when his head hits the pillow tonight.
But it is holding because Jarvis got so much pressure inside. The tackle held onto him.
Jarvis, like he was shot out of a cannon. Watch top of your screen if you can see him coming at it.
Yeah, well, he got held and was calling for it, and Alfonso dropping that. That's uncharacteristic. He was an interception magnet at Wake Forest.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 70. 15-yard penalty, repeat third down.
But Jarvis came off the ball like he was shot out of a cannon, and the offensive tackle didn't have much choice but to reach out and grab him. This is the Jarvis Moss that we've been hoping to see for 3 years. I know that he has been hoping to see it. Just look at the explosion. Number 70 at the top of the screen here grabs the face mask because Jarvis just beat him around the quarter so quickly.
Jason Fox, a rookie out of Miami, beaten, like we say, like a drum by Moss on that one. 3rd and 19. Football back at the 26-yard line. Crowd getting into it. Inside handoff. And the Lions will take a couple of yards, try and get a little better field position. Brown, the ball carrier, tackled by a number of Broncos. Jarvis Moss right there again. Again, Jarvis playing with that cast. He broke his hand early in training camp, came back this week, and he said, it's just something I got to get used to. And he's funny because he told us during the week, he says, maybe I'll get to like it. But right now it looks like he's hurting a little bit, or he's out of gas.
Yeah, I would say out of gas. That's the least of it.
4th and 12. Punt. Lions second punt. Veteran Nick Harris, a one-timer Bronco. This is Sidquan Thompson looking to duplicate what Parrish Cox did. Shows some quickness over the 30 to the 33. The crowd enjoys that. The Broncos will come out with Brady Quinn once more at the controls, beginning this drive from their own 33-yard line. 1-point Denver lead here in the final moments of the third quarter. Find out what the head coach is thinking before every game on the Josh McDaniels Show, driven by your neighborhood Toyota stores. The latest news, strategy, and the inside word from the coach. The Josh McDaniels Show, driven by your neighborhood Toyota stores, premieres Saturday, September 11th on CBS 4.
I know what Josh McDaniels is thinking right now. He's thinking Brady Quinn is about to have the best drive he's had the Broncos preseason.
Well, let's see if Reggie's a mind reader. Vargas, the ball carrier. So Justin's getting his feet wet in a Bronco uniform tonight. A Rams sideline report from Jesse.
All right, guys, here with Rob Alvarado of Taco Bell. And Rob, you guys are doing amazing things here in this community with your Taco Bell for Teens Foundation.
That's right. Well, we're proud to be once again partnering with the local Boys and Girls Clubs throughout the state. Over the last several years, Taco Bell has donated over $20 million nationally, and $1.8 million in grants have already been granted this year locally.
You got tacos for touchdowns for the 2nd straight year. Tell us about that real quick.
That's right. Under that, as most fans know, if Denver scores 2 or more touchdowns in any game, come in to participate in Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day from 4 to 6 p.m. and get 2 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink.
Rob, appreciate it. Of course, they're following the Rockies, who have great success with this campaign. Guys, back to you upstairs.
Jesse, Rob, thanks. And I wonder if we should have tacos every time a Bronco right-handed quarterback passes the ball left-handed.
I love it. Making a play, Brady Quinn, and now he's going to do it again on 3rd down.
3rd down and 5. Brady able to salvage that one with a little left-handed backhand toss, getting a few yards. 3rd down. And Quinn looks deep. Man-on-man coverage, and that one's incomplete. He overthrew the intended receiver, Matt Willis, downfield.
You know, take a look at him on this flip pass. Gets a little bit of pressure, and the defender grabs his right arm, so he just flips it out with his left. Nice improvisation, nice way to make a play. And I love that he made that play, came back, threw the ball deep. It was incomplete, but I think that's what I want to see out of Brady Quinn. I want to see him just start to open up, relax, and start to make some plays on the field.
Tim Toon is deep to receive the Colquitt kick. How many times through the last number of years have we seen Bronco quarterbacks with left-handed hand? We saw Cutler do it. We saw Jake do it, didn't we? We saw Greasy do it.
Orton did it last year. Remember that?
They are.
Yeah.
I wonder if they work on that in practice.
I think it's a prerequisite. Delay of game on the Broncos. They wanted to get a little bit more field position, I think, for this punt that Colquitt's going to put down on the 5.
Colquitt has punted well, had a 58-yarder the last time out. Britton Colquitt, the only punter in camp, so the job is all his. All he has to do is keep it. Snap a little high, brought it down. Another high floating kick. Toon at the 17. Got away from the first man downfield, Cassius Vaughn. Took it over the 20 to around the 23 or 4 yard line. And that's where the Lions will start. They're going to give him progress, in fact, out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. Nathan Overbay was downfield for the Broncos, but he got away from the first man and was able to get about 7 or 8 yards on the return.
That was actually a smart play by Cassius Vaughn. He was coming in. He could have made a big collision, but if you make a habit of doing that, occasionally you're going to get there before the ball does, and you don't want that. Kind of went to the side, kind of just tried to make the tackle, and he got beaten.
50-yard kick by Cole Quick. Final play, barring a penalty, of the third. Hill's got all the way in the third in relief of Stafford. The dump off to D.D. Dorsey. Running room over the 40, cuts back 45 out to the 46-yard line. So nicely done by the Lions as they get good yardage on the final play of this third quarter. So the Lions drive, take the lead. Those fans don't want to see it. 3 quarters in the books. Invesco Field at Mile High on a Saturday night in Denver. And the Broncos hanging on. They lead by a point.
Way here at Invesco Field, fellas, 4 possessions for Brady Quinn in that third quarter, all 4 3 and outs.
All right, Vic, thank you. We start the fourth quarter now. First down for the Lions. Inside handoff. And that's Dorsey, the ball carrier. Tripped up on the play. Ronald Fields, number 91, helping to make the stop on D.D. Dorsey. In his 5th year out of Lindenwood, he's 5'11", 210 pounds. You can see through 3 quarters the yardage through the air, and there your first downs are relatively even, statistically speaking. Third down conversions, likewise. Time of possession, pretty darn close. 2nd down and 5 from midfield. Hill's pass caught by the tight end. And that's good for first down yardage. That's Dan Gronkowski, first year out of Maryland, 6'5", 260. We'll take another look as the Broncos able to make the stop there.
Yeah, and just a little out route to the tight end, nothing fancy about it, but Broncos converge to make the tackle, but not until after the first down is achieved.
Johnny Williams making the stop on the play. Our fourth quarter replays brought to you by Xfinity TV, Internet, Voice. Hill still has it, throws it behind the tight end Gronkowski. So that pass poorly thrown.
You know, in talking to Josh McDaniels the other day, he said something interesting about the roster, that there are, he said, 40 to 45 guys on this team that the coaches pretty much already know are going to make the team. And so all the battles are for the remaining 13 or 8 positions, whether it's 40 or 45 or somewhere in between. But all these guys who are out here now are battling to be among those elite few who will make those last positions.
2nd down and 10, Hill with time. Throws it behind Gronkowski, so Gronkowski not anticipating that. And that time the quarterback and the tight end not really on the same page.
Not at all. And this happens when you get your 2nd and 3rd units on the field. You got guys out there and they don't quite know the scheme, or they don't quite know the adjustments to the different types of coverage. So the quarterback is thinking one thing and the receiver is thinking another thing. Jim Schwartz has been around a long time. He knows this is nothing new.
3rd down and 10 at the 43. Broncos have been vulnerable, it appears, in the middle of the field on the tight ends crossing. We'll see what the Lions do. Hill again with time. Steps up. Gets it out. Has his man. That's short of a first down around the 36-yard line. It's Dorsey out of the backfield. Safety valve, and he was the receiver there. Getting it to the 35. It'll be 4th and 2, and I would imagine they'll go for it here with the football at the 35-yard line.
A little long for a field goal, a little short for a punt. I guess you just go for it. Broncos need a big stop right here.
Schwartz seems to be getting a kick out of the way things are going right now. It's Johnny Williams, number 54, recently signed in a linebacker spot by the Broncos. Timeout now being called by Sean Hill. So Stafford started the game. First string quarterback in his 2nd year, played very well. Sean Hill, the veteran backup. And the Lions will talk it over. The Bronco defense will do likewise. Big 4th down play when we come back with the Broncos up by 1. Broncos up in front of more than 65,000 here at Invesco. Become a Denver Broncos season ticket holder. Experience the power of the NFL. United Club level season tickets available now. Call 720-258-3355 to speak with a Broncos representative. 4th and 2. Hill tight ropes along the sideline for a Detroit first down. Looked like Jarvis Green might have had an angle on him, but Hill able to sidestep a little bit, and a Bronco player down, I believe, on the sidelines. That's Johnny Williams.
Yeah, that was just a well-designed play. It didn't look like it was going to be much at first. Broncos had everything covered down the field, but they didn't have the quarterback covered, and yeah, Johnny not able to get there.
5 yards on the pickup there on 4th and 2. Football to the 30, first down. Inside handoff, D.D. Dorsey puts his head down. Inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. So they get 7 on first down. 2nd and 3 coming up. Dorsey running the ball well. Lions obviously in field goal position now, down by only a point. Bronco preseason football presented in high definition by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your local electric cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. Visit togetherwesave.com. Second down, they say 6 on the previous play, 2nd and 4. That pass over the middle for Dorsey. First down and then some. Breaks a couple of tackles along the way. Gets to the 15-yard line before Kyle McCarthy, the free agent out of Notre Dame, put a stop to that.
The Broncos have this covered well, but they just don't make the tackle when they get there. I think it was Joe May was the first guy there. You got to see May coming from this side to make the tackle, and if this was flag football or touch football, he would have been down several times on this play, but it's tackle football.
Maybe they should consider touch football.
When it works in the Broncos' favor.
Exactly. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Good drive by the Lions. Hill looking, throws for the end zone, overthrows his man. That pass intended for Johnson in the right corner. Not close, incomplete. 2nd down coming up. Bryant Johnson in his 8th year out of Penn State. Well, let's check me on that. It's Northcutt 86, not 80. Dennis the veteran, the 11-year pro. Well, it's a test for everybody on the field, every play. The coaches will watch it and watch it over and over again to see who came up big and who didn't quite get it done. Hill against a 4-man rush to Dorsey inside the 10. Got to the 8-yard line. Joe Mays, number 96, making contact for the Broncos there. Alexander, number 48, another Bronco linebacker.
Yeah, the Broncos are just giving away the short passes. They're dropping back, and they're saying, we'll let you dump off to your backs and your tight ends, and the Lions are taking it, saying, all right. It's Wink Martindale, the defense coordinator for the Broncos.
This is a 3rd and 4 from the 9. 10:45 to go.
Look at Joe May down here at the bottom of the screen, isolated in man-to-man coverage.
Let's see what Hill does about that. Out of the pocket, flushed away, throws it away. Broncos did well on defense. They flushed him out of the pocket, forced him to throw it away. Tony Carter putting some pressure on. There's Alfonso Smith, so the Bronco defense comes up big on that play and forces the Lions to try and take the lead with a field goal. 4th time in the game, Bronco defense with the Lions in the red zone have prevented a touchdown.
And you can say that the Broncos defense, even though they've struggled at various times today, they're the reason the Broncos are leading this game because they have kept it close enough for the Broncos offense to make a few plays.
28-yard attempt by Hoshka. What did you find so amazing? The kick is good. The Lions have taken the lead. All right, when we come back, I want to know why the heck you're laughing so much. Timeout, 10:25 to go. Lions by a couple. And that Bronco fan has gone night-night. Broncos now down 19-17 in the game and about to get the football. And we'll see what Brady Quinn can do.
Well, that's what we've been saying. We'll see what Brady Quinn can do. And I think I think Broncos fans and me and the coaches and I think a lot of people are just eager to see what Brady Quinn can do. We know he has the talent. We know he has the skill set. But to see it in action, he's had 4 drives now, all 3 and outs.
Cassius Vaughn will take the kick about 7 yards deep, and the Broncos will start from the 20-yard line. Rams sideline report, Jesse Kurtz.
All right, guys, here we are in the 4th quarter, which would have been the time that we would have seen Tim Tebow, but of course he's hurt. The last time that we saw him was early this afternoon, out early with Rich Tootin running sprints and doing some calisthenics with his fellow injured Broncos. So with Tim out, it's going to be the Brady Quinn show until the clock strikes 0 tonight.
Yeah, he really could play linebacker.
Yeah,
he's got a strong upper body.
Let him cover kicks.
Yeah. First down and 10 from the 20. Denver in the eye. And the Lions wrap up that one after a gain of a yard. Fargas on the carry. They may give him 2 on the play. Second down and 8 coming up with 10:14 to go and the clock moving, and the Lions in the lead now. And Fargas looks like he paid the price for that.
I think what we saw last week and what we're seeing this week is when the second unit and some of the third team guys get in there, the complexity of the game plan goes down significantly. There's not as much creativity in the play calling because these guys don't have as many reps and can't run all the plays.
Eric Decker in motion. He has 3 catches in the game. Flag on the play. Running room for Fargas to the 27, but there is a flag thrown by Ed Hockley, or actually thrown by the umpire, who now lines up in the backfield alongside the referee.
Holding offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Seth Olson caught on the penalty there. Seth in his second year out of Iowa, 6'5", 308. Broncos 4th round pick last year.
All right, came with 2 running plays. Brady Quinn's got to pass it now.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. Second down, 19 back at the 11. And just get the feeling watching Brady that he just needs to have something happen to build his confidence up a little bit.
Yeah, just needs, I think that's what Josh was talking about, a fast start. Just do something early that boosts your confidence.
Oh, he's got a man wide open downfield, and he nailed him. Decker to the 42-yard line, a Denver first down. Somebody missed an assignment in the Detroit secondary because Eric Decker, who was in motion, came slanting deep over the middle, and there wasn't a white jersey in sight. Decker, his 4th catch of the game, and the Broncos come up with 29 yards.
Decker just gets up here in a missed assignment. They let him go. Brady Quinn sees him, hits him, and that's exactly what we're talking about. We're just talking about Brady Quinn needs to make a throw down the field, make a play happen. You just feel this going to uncap something, and we're going to start to see more and more.
Yeah, the quarterback, Pratt, 36, let him go, and they said, where's my safety help? There was no safety help. That carry out to the 48-yard line. Broncos starting to move now a little bit. Bruce Hall getting his first carry of the night. Bruce, the Broncos picking him up out of Buffalo. And one more look. Boy, you can't be much more open than Decker was there. Eric's played very well. Clock moving, 8:15 to go. Lions by a couple. Win 6 of 8, as you just saw. Here's Hall again. Bounced off a tackler into Detroit territory. First down, spun around to the 40-yard line. Still on his feet. They say he wasn't down. They'll give him progress. Yard line.
Bruce Hall, another guy trying to fight for one of those spots in the Broncos backfield. A couple of years on the practice squad. College free agent in 08. But you look at the effort here at the end of this play. Watch and see, does he go down? No, hand hits the ground and he keeps on going.
19 yards for the second-year pro out of Mississippi, Bruce Hall. Football at the 29-yard line. Broncos in field goal position already. Hall gets it again. Look at that hole. The 20 to the 16-yard line. And suddenly the Bronco offensive line opening up huge holes for the running back Hall.
Broncos have picked up some momentum now. Bruce Hall, 3 rushes, 42 yards. He had 5 catches last week against Cincinnati. He was the Broncos' leading receiver, actually, with 5 catches.
12 yards on that play. So 31 yards from Bruce Hall on the previous 2 plays. Under the 7-minute mark now to the 17-yard line. Offset eye for Denver. It's Hall once more to the 16. A yard or two, that's about all. Well, a confidence-building drive you would hope for Brady Quinn. We said he needed something. They were in big trouble, and all of a sudden Eric Decker broke free. He was wide open, but you can't hit him any better than Brady did.
Well, you could hit him in stride. He keeps going
He was
down
moving.
the field.
He was in stride. He was still he wasn't behind everybody.
Well, that's true. That's true. But still, good throw.
2nd and 9. It's Hall again to the 16-yard line. Xfinity Broncos Live is on the move. The show is still on Monday nights after every Broncos game, but now the place to be is the Tavern Tech Center. We're really excited about our new digs. The Tavern's huge main floor will be broadcast central as we welcome in Bronco players every week to talk football. Come join us for Xfinity Broncos Live at the Tavern Tech Center. Our first show Monday, September 13th on CBS 4. 3rd and 8 at the 15.
It would have been better for the Broncos to throw on the last play when it was 2nd and 9. Give Brady Quinn 2 chances at it.
Linebackers blitz over the middle through the hands of Decker. He could not hang on. So Quinn feeling the pressure, able to hit Decker in the numbers, and Eric couldn't hang on to that one. And Prater on to try and give Denver the lead.
But a 3rd and 8 situation is tough. The defense knows what you're doing. They bring the blitz. Makes you throw it before you want to. If they had thrown on 2nd and 9, now Quinn has 2 chances. You have more flexibility in what you're going to do.
33-yard attempt. Prater so far 2 for 3 on the night. Missed his last one from 45. Matt's not about to miss this one, and the Broncos have stuck their noses back out in front. Timeout, 5:19 to go, 4th quarter. Broncos by a point. Broncos up by 1 following a 9-play, 75-yard drive. They took a little over 5 minutes off the clock, and the 33-yard field goal by Matt Prater giving Denver the advantage. We'll see how the Broncos do. Interesting preseason game, Reg. A little back and forth, giving guys a chance to show that they can come through when there's relative pressure on.
There is relative pressure, and that's what the coaches want to see. They want to see how guys respond under pressure, because that's the only way to know if the guys you've got on your roster are going to deliver when you get into the championship games, when you're playing for the playoffs.
Derek Williams is deep, and Prater booms this one. And that's what Matt does. Last year, Matt had 28 touchbacks, adds another one there. All right, final 5:19 when we come back. Support the Colorado Boys and Girls Clubs, and you could win a new home at Spire in downtown Denver or $1 million in cash. For all the details, visit RockyMountainRaffle.com.
$1 million in cash, huh?
Sounds like a good deal.
1/9 of what Kyle Orton just got. Hey!
Stanton in the game, and he fumbled the direct snap. Covered up immediately on the play by Alfonso Smith, I believe. Loss of a couple. So Drew Stanton just in, 3rd string quarterback for the Lions, 4th year out of Michigan State, 6'3", 230 pounds. And that snap was right in his hands, and he wasn't quite ready.
You know what?
You see Stanton last week against Pittsburgh, 7 for 11, 70 yards, and a pretty decent quarterback rating. 2nd down. This pass along the sideline incomplete. There's contact and pass interference coming up against Sidquan Thompson. Thrown by the official down around midfield.
Sidquan Thompson is crazy quick. When you watch him at practice or moving around, just the speed with which he changes directions is amazing.
There were fouls by both teams on the play, holding offense number 70. There was also pass interference, defense number 23. Those penalties offset. Replay 2nd down.
CBS 4 Chalkboard brought to you by Taco Bell. Check out tacos for touchdowns at Taco Bell.
Check out this run. The key here is the block by the tight end, the crackback, and then Batiste going up and holding on that guy. Let's go ahead and roll the play. Here comes the crackback block. Bam, there's the hold. Bam. And it springs Bruce Hall for a big run there.
2nd and 17 from the 13-yard line. And the Broncos are blitzing. Bruton blitzing on the safety blitz, so single coverage downfield, the pass incomplete. So Sidquan Thompson downfield in single coverage with former Bronco Brian Clark, the incompletion. Sonic Sports Desk, Vic.
Yeah, it's scary. We are preparing for our post-game party. When I'm done here at the Sonic Sports Desk, we are reporting live to the Bronco locker room for complete post-game interaction. Of course, we'll hear from the players themselves, and we've got a poll for you tonight. Which of these Bronco players in this game has surprised you most? We'll reveal the results of that poll coming up on CBS 4 News at 10.
Thanks, Vic. 3rd and 17 at the 13, 4:55 to go. Stanton time has a man wide open along the sidelines, and that's Eric Fowler, second-year player out of Grand Valley, 6'3", 210. So on 3rd and 17, the Lions make it look easy for 28 yards and a first down.
And the Broncos were confused about what they were doing there. They just leave a man wide open over on the sidelines. It's too deep coverage, but I think that corner should drop deeper because there's no threat in the flat for him to come up to.
From the 41, the inside handoff, Didi Dorsey, he breaks through over the 45. They'll give him progress to the 47-yard line. So suddenly it's the Lions now going no huddle as we approach the 4.5-minute mark. Jim Schwartz along the sidelines watching his offense try and maneuver. They lost last week in Pittsburgh 23-7, back-to-back road games in preseason, and trying to steal one here in Denver. That pass batted down. Jeff Staley, number 65, was there.
Think
that's Johnny Williams also. I'm glad to see Johnny's okay. Johnny might have gotten a big mid up there.
Yeah, I was thinking that Ben Garland, the Air Force kid, might have gotten it, but it's not clear. What a story he is.
Yeah, Garland has a decision to make coming up, whether he's going to head off to active duty and fly planes or just a couple of years and ultimately try and play football after 2 years. Stanton now, 3rd down, steps up. Oh, he scrambles forward, got the first down in Bronco territory. Williams put a stop to that, but not before he scrambled to the 44. Good move by Drew Stanton.
Stanton gets up the field, and the Lions stay in their no-huddle offense, force the Broncos to stay in the defense that they're in.
Stanton out to the right side. And the Lions with that pass to the tight end Gronkowski. Sidquan Thompson in coverage there, but not before he got to the 36-yard line. A Rams sideline report from Jesse.
All right, well, Josh McDaniels loves competition, and that's why he absolutely loves throwing these young guys out there like Williams and like Sidquan Thompson, because he likes to see who wants this job the most, and this is where jobs are won. Those final few roster spots going to be won here in these final preseason games. Josh McDaniels loves the competition.
Thank you, Jesse.
2nd down and 6 from the 36. Approaching the 3-minute mark. Stanton's pass batted down, 2nd time. One of the flag downfield, thrown by the back judge, way downfield at the 10-yard line. That's not going to be good news for the defense.
Yeah, I think the only thing he ever calls is pass interference.
Illegal contact by the defense, number 49, before the pass was thrown. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Warrell Williams, that is DJ Williams' little brother, just signed this week. Linebacker.
All of 24 years old, 6 feet, 250 pounds. Big brother's not quite ready to play yet. He's nursing a bit of an injury. Football to the 31, so Warrell, who was just signed, hurts the Broncos on that play. 1st and 10 at the 31. That's Brown carrying the football. Lions in field goal range already. And now starting, I imagine, to work the clock a little bit. As we take a look, both teams, well, the Broncos have 3 timeouts left. The Lions have 2.
I think when the coaches start reviewing this tape, obviously there are a lot of mistakes to correct with the second team and third team guys, but the way that their first units responded, the way the defense stood up and held the Lions to field goals in crucial moments, the way the first team offense came back after kind of getting beaten up and scored a couple of touchdowns, I think they'll be pleased with what they see.
Brown to the 25-yard line before several Broncos put a stop to that. Sidquan in there. Sidquan's been very aggressive out of his cornerback spot. There's not a whole lot a coach can do right now as Stephen Hoshka warms up for what he and the Lions hope will be potentially a game-winning field goal, or at least a field goal to give his team the lead. Stanton to the sidelines, 2-minute warning. 65,000 folks wondering who's going to win this one. Timeout. 1-point game, but the Lions are driving. Denver up by a point, 2019. Hey, Bronco fans, want even more news on your favorite team? CBS 4 delivers with Chevy Football Preview every Saturday night. We'll break down the Broncos and their opponent, talk a little strategy, take you into the Bronco locker room too. Chevy Football Preview premieres Saturday, September 11th on CBS 4. 3rd and at the 25-yard line. Stanton in the gun. Quarterback draw, perfectly called play. Broncos were blitzing. Lions have a game-leading touchdown.
Wow. Just a perfect play at the perfect moment. Looked like the Broncos might have it covered because they were blitzing, but he finds a gap. Stanton finds a gap and gets into the end zone.
Broncos blitzing up the middle. Here they came. And if they anticipated that, boy, you couldn't have called a better play, because once he got beyond the line of scrimmage, it was see you later. There was nobody in an orange jersey there.
Everybody's either outside in man coverage.
Lions calling time. Now it's a 5-point game. You know, I was thinking before, there's no way at least we were going to have overtime, but here are the Lions now apparently contemplating going for 2, which would make this a 7-point game. If the Broncos come back and get a touchdown, they have to go for 2, don't they?
Right.
Nobody wants overtime,
You would
right?
think. You would think.
That's I was just about to say at the 2-minute break, the best news I can give you at this point, if the Lions take the lead, so be it. It'll be a 2-point game. We're not going to have overtime. One more look at the play.
Yeah, and so since outside they're playing man-to-man coverage, inside they're blitzing, once he gets past the line of scrimmage, there are no defenders left to stop him.
So Detroit calling timeout with 1:53. The Broncos will have to put their 2-minute offense on the field. A 10-play, 80-yard drive run beautifully by Drew Stanton, who fumbled the initial snap. Remember, it looked like he wasn't even ready to play.
Right.
Took him 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Stanton now with a slot on the right. The running back is Dorsey, throws over the middle through the hands of the intended receiver. It is incomplete. It remains a 5-point game. So again, the best news I can give you, that pass intended for former Bronco Brian Clark, Alfonso Smith in coverage, is we're not going to have overtime.
Actually,
I promise
Tony
you that.
Carter in coverage, but nice coverage and nice breakup. So yes, we will not have overtime unless there's a field goal and a safety.
There you go. And I guess that's impossible. 1:53 to play, and we'll see what the Lions do now and what the Broncos can do.
Here comes the onside kick from the Lions. They want to get it back and score again.
You know, seriously, I mean, it's really great practice for the season. For the Lions, just worked their essentially 2-minute offense in the final 5 minutes, got the job done. Broncos have played well. They scored a touchdown in their 2-minute drill at the end of the first half. Quinn led them to a field goal last week at the end of the first half in Cincinnati. Another opportunity. These are opportunities you try and do it in practice, but it's never the same thing, obviously.
Yeah, it can't be the same thing because the intensity is not there, the stakes aren't there, and Brady Quinn will get his chance to run the 2-minute offense again. He did do it well in Cincinnati. See if he can do it again here tonight.
So Stephen Hoshka will kick. Just about every kick on this evening has gone into the end zone at least. I don't know if this one's going to make it. It's a line drive. Oh, yeah, it does.
Got a penalty.
Oh, it went out of bounds.
But it doesn't matter. The Broncos got a penalty. One of their return men just ran across the 10-yard mark before the ball was kicked.
So wait, did that ball fly out of bounds before it crossed the goal line?
Well, one of the up men who's lined up at the 40-yard line stepped forward across the 40-yard line before the ball was kicked.
Well, Reg, I'm not sure the officials.
There's a flag on the field.
And the officials they're talking it over.
Talking about it right here. Just ran across the 40.
Yeah,
I don't know why. And then he did. It's not like he went to block somebody. He just ran across and then kind of jogged back with him.
There were fouls by both teams on the play.
Good call, Reg.
Offside by the receiving team, number 22. The ball was also illegally kicked out of bounds. Those penalties offset. Free kick.
Well, that hurts the Broncos big time. Yeah, it's Alfonso Smith for some reason trying to get an angle to throw a block and crossing over the 40-yard line before the ball is kicked. And the Broncos get a huge break as Hauschka kicks the ball out of bounds. Would have been Denver ball at the 40-yard line.
Right, that's huge. That is huge. Why in the world is Alfonso Smith lined up on the front line?
You played special teams. You were lined up on the front line.
I was lined up on the front line, but I'm not a finely tuned athlete like he is. Look at this kid.
Did you ever do that?
I never ran across the 40 like that, no.
Now, if a guy did run across, what could he possibly be thinking?
Look at the other guys who are on the front line. If the camera can pull back, you got Alfonso Smith, a little DB. The rest of the guys are linebackers. You know, they're big guys. Look, that's a big guy. This is a safety.
That's a safety.
You know, safeties, linebackers, running backs. That's who you want. Alfonso Smith, what's he doing up there anyway?
Well, both sides. You have Tony Carter right there, and you have Alfonso Smith. They're on the outside by the sidelines. Now, Hauschka's kick is more in keeping with what we've seen all night long. And you think about it, they're offsetting penalties, but it cost the Broncos 20 yards.
Yes, it really did.
Player of the game brought to you by Wyoming Tourism, inviting you to explore the place called Forever West at roadtripwyoming.com. Our player of the game, he was terrific. Caught 6 balls tonight. Jabbar Gaffney, 98 yards, averaging over 16 yards per catch. So Jabbar Gaffney is our player of the game.
And Jabbar Gaffney really delivered. Most of those were tough catches.
Yep.
He had defenders draped all over them. Some of them were in critical situations. Fourth down pass, just really had a good afternoon.
Brady Quinn, 6 of 9 for 60 yards. Broncos 80 yards away, trailing by 5. Plenty of time with 1:53 and 3 timeouts. Holding coming up, we believe here. Flag down. That pass complete. Caught by Branson.
Holding, offense number 61, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So the Broncos now with 3rd and 4th stringers in the football game. And Paul Duncan, a rookie out of Notre Dame, 6'7", 325. And Ed Hockley spotted him placing his hand where it shouldn't have been. That cost the Broncos 10.
Now Kyle Orton at the end of the first half, 59 seconds to drive 80 yards down the field, score a touchdown, but he did that with the first unit. Brady Quinn has the disadvantage of being in there with the 2nd and 3rd unit guys, and more mistakes, less of the game plan in hand, tougher job to do.
Quinn on 2nd down or 1st down and 20. Gets it off to Decker. Eric's played well, breaks away. Decker out to the 27-yard line. 17 yards for the Broncos on 1st and 20. Clock moves with 1:34. 2nd down and just about, well, they've given progress to the 28. 2nd and 2. Less than a minute and a half to go. Detroit by 5. Quinn again. Lots of time. Safety valve pass incomplete through the hands of Bruce Hall. That would have been a Denver first down. It does, however, stop the clock.
Decker not just wears Ed McCaffrey's number, but he kind of plays like Ed McCaffrey. You know, he making the tough catch, spinning in traffic, and making a play down the field.
Yeah, he's caught it 4 or 5 tonight. Did have 1 drop, but he's playing very well coming off that ankle injury. There's Eric Decker, 3rd-round draft pick out of the University of Minnesota.
3,100 yards in college, 227 receptions, kick and catch.
3rd and 2. Quinn with time. Over the middle. Oh, that's a fine catch. First down for the Broncos. Britt Davis, 6'3", 205, first year out of Northern Illinois. Broncos picked him up from the Jets practice squad. Timeout Denver. With 1:13 to go. Britt Davis, a leaping catch for a Bronco first down.
Coming across the middle on a crossing route, you know there's a safety there. You know there's a linebacker there. Going up high like that, that takes some courage. Nice courage, nice catch, nice way to distinguish yourself from the crowd of receivers.
And a pretty darn nice throw by
yeah,
Brady
very
Quinn,
nice
also
throw by
16
Brady
yards.
Yeah.
And give credit to the offensive line for giving Brady the time he needed.
Very nicely done all the way around. Brady so far, 8 completions out of 12 attempts, 93 yards. So actually having his numbers are good.
And you sense the confidence building a little bit. Quinn in the pocket, dumps it off. He's got his man. Willis wants to get out of bounds, does precisely that. In Lion territory, progress almost to the 48. They'll give him the 48-yard line. About 8 yards on the play.
Now you love the way they're managing this drive, just like the first unit did at the end of the first half, controlling the clock, being smart with it. And what I love about this is almost no matter what happens at this point, Brady Quinn is going to have a couple of chances at the end of this game to throw to the end zone.
2nd down and 3. Quinn's short drop. Dumps it off again. Hall met and hit hard at the 46, short of the first down by a yard. Broncos have a timeout, have 2 timeouts left. They haven't called it yet. Letting the clock go with 52. They come to the line, so they won't call it now. Brady indicating spike it. No, he quarterback sneaks and gets the first down. So the Broncos get the first down and step in and call timeout with 45 seconds to go. Brady faked me out. Did he indicate that he was putting his hand like he was going to spike it?
It did look like it was going to be a spike, but good. Run the quarterback sneak, get the first down. You got a fresh set of downs now. You still have 45 seconds on the clock. Still have 1 timeout. You're at the 45-yard line. Broncos have plenty of opportunity here to score a touchdown.
It's quite an effective drive. Remember, on first down and on a completion, Broncos were called for holding. So this drive started at the 20, but actually went back to the 10. Now they're at the Lion 45. Decker in the game. Young receivers, 1 and all. Willis in the game. Britt Davis in the game. 1st and 10. Over the middle, incomplete. Pass intended for Hall. Quinn was under pressure. The Lions ultimately got him and put him on his numbers. 2nd down coming up with 40 seconds to go. Breaking through was Andre Fluellen, number 96, to put the pressure on Quinn.
And I think if you're going to throw short at this point in the game, 40 seconds left, you got to throw short quickly. You can't have plays where you drop back, you look, and then you throw short. I think if you're going to throw short quickly. Otherwise, throw the ball away.
Quinn in the pocket. Over the middle. Hits Willis in stride. Matt knows what to do. He races out of bounds. Heads for those sidelines to the 33-yard line. A Bronco first down. 12 yards.
I like that. You have Willis on the crossing route. You drop back. Boom. As soon as he crosses the hash, bam, the ball goes to him, and he's got the speed to get out of bounds and stop the clock. I think if you're going to throw short, that's the way you do it.
I love how quickly we've seen Matt Willis do this twice now, how heady a player he is, heading immediately for the sidelines, understanding the situation. 32 seconds to go, first down. Quinn throws deep. Willis out there, a diving attempt. It's incomplete, flag on the play.
Might have been defensive holding.
We'll see. Willis couldn't hang on. Might have been illegal contact. We'll see. In any event, it'll be a 5-yard penalty.
There was no foul. There were only 11 men on the field. Defense. Result of the play is an incomplete pass. It's 2nd down.
There's supposed to be 11 men on the field, aren't there?
Maybe one of them thought that there were 12.
Ah, there you go. But so the back judge looking, counting, thought there were perhaps 12 Lions on the field, and they realized there were 11.
Right. It's too bad that he was so close to the marker out of bounds. That would have been a catch in the middle of the field. Nice effort.
26 seconds to go. 2nd and 10 at the 33. Broncos down by 5. Brady Quinn has time. Look out. His arm is hit. The ball comes loose, and we shall see.
That's just too much time in the pocket. You can't. I think Brady's not paying enough attention to the time in the game.
Lions recover.
You sit back there. You got to get rid of the ball quickly. You don't have that much time to make plays down the field, and if you don't get rid of it quickly, they are rushing, so you get the sack and the fumble.
Corey Bosworth, who had a cup of coffee with the Broncos, released by the Broncos earlier this year, signed by the Lions, recovers. Brady had time, has to get rid of it there.
Yeah.
Arm hit from behind, 79, that's Willie Young breaking loose, and 97 able to recover. Bosworth for Detroit. Broncos do have a timeout if they elect to use it, but the Lions will have to snap at a time, maybe twice, and that'll be our ball game.
But overall, a better day for Brady Quinn than he had last week in Cincinnati. He was marching the team down the field, but just some clock management issues about how quickly to get rid of the ball if you're going to pass it, and certainly you can't hold it when the rush is coming.
Broncos won't bother to call timeout. They'll let it be, and the Lions will leave Invesco Field with their first win. Detroit 2 up and 14 down last year, so a win for the Lions, obviously a good confidence boost.